welcome to the Intelligent Idea Topic Podcast.
Yo.
Fellas, guys, people, ladies, gentlemen, thanks for joining us once again. Another episode of the Intelligent Idea Talkers Podcast, for the week of February 18th, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, D.
This is Juice.
This is Frank. What's up, everybody?
You know.
Y'all niggas is wild.
You know, nigga was going. You know, nigga.
You know, Kanega.
Hey, happy Black History Month, Kanegas. All right.
Yeah. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black
all
History
my
Month,
Kanegas.
We are.
Which I always tend to agree with. Who is it? Is it Morgan Freeman who said, "Why do we need a Black History Month? You know, it's the Black history is American history, right? So why is Black history? Why do we celebrate Black history in February? You know what I mean? Like
because they'll ignore the shit out of us if we didn't.
Yeah.
They would ignore the shit out of us. They wouldn't talk about us. They act like we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't know nothing about us. They already did that before Black History Month. So we do Black History Month to remind Kanegas that we actually have our own history within this country. Yeah. Otherwise, they act like we wouldn't be here.
Oh, also, D, to answer your question, we celebrate Black History Month in February because of there are two birthdays of great Americans who played a role in shaping Black history. Well, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't call them great Americans, but that's what we think. But Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass.
Mm-hmm. They're both great Americans.
I think Frederick Douglass is Valentine's Day is on the 14th. Abraham Lincoln, it's escaping me. I think it's like a couple of days before, like the 11th or 12th. But that's why we celebrate in February. So yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, the first anti-racist president.
I guess I just sympathize when Morgan Freeman said, did you guys see that? You know, I'm talking about that little clip where he's asking the interviewers, asking him how he feels about
Morgan Freeman is problematic, yo.
Yeah, he's got some crazy issues, man. When you
start reading problematic, my nigga. Like, my Canadian, like Morgan Freeman is one of those Canadians. I'm just saying, that you just gotta be like, he'll say some stuff. You just be like, all right, Morgan.
Morgan Freeman's been old since Lean on Me came out, bro. Like Morgan Freeman was old in the 80s, bro. Like how you still old, bro?
How you been old your entire life?
Yeah, I've been old since I can't even remember the first movie I saw Morgan Freeman in. No, I think my initial thing was I wasn't wondering why we celebrate Black History Month in February. It's just like, why are we relegated to 1 month? Like Black history is American history, right? Like all the things that we celebrate about Black History Month are just, because I think one thing he asked in the interview is there's no White History Month, and that kind of, I don't know. Morgan Freeman's nutty as squirrel shit, but I kind of agree with him a little bit. Y'all could niggas know what I'm talking about. Niggas, man. Can't stand that.
I mean, just because it has to be said, like,
niggas.
Niggas out here.
Yeah, man.
They would act like niggas didn't have a history, yo. Like, niggas is.
For anybody,
there's never a time when niggas wasn't part of American society.
Yeah, we wasn't allowed to participate in shit.
I'm sorry, guys.
They used to.
Oh fuck!
You know what they used to do to niggas back?
Yeah, dog, like you hear about that shit all the time, man. Like, thank God we were born when we were born, bro.
Yeah, man, they be calling people out their names, like, "Hey, look here."
This is crazy.
Look at
but that's what the hard ER. That's what the hard ER. Like that's
true. It wasn't as
you
hip
know,
back then.
I guess we're touching on the word "kaniga" a lot, and
Hold on,
how
let
do
me
you
just
guys
say,
feel about?
I gotta finish the point. Like, look, the reason we have Black History Month, and yes, Black History is American history, but like there is no White History Month because all history in America up until the establishment of Black history was literally just white history. Like they didn't teach Indian Native American history because the motherfuckers all got wiped out. Like pretty much. They ain't teach Latin American history. They ain't teach none of that stuff. Wasn't there. It was all white. It was all white history. It was just white history. That's why. That's why. So I just need to say that
and
because Canadians be messing around and forget that like it wasn't just like you don't need a White History Month because it's by default Caucasity history.
there's also the discussion of like, or the topic of like critical race theory. Y'all know what that is, right? Yeah, you understand. Yeah, so critical race theory is taught in schools now, and I think it's like that's supposed to be the excuse, right? Like of teaching Black history all year round, but it's theory. It's not, and it's only really focused on in February still.
And it's only in college. Like critical race theory is literally just only a college, like higher level college course, and a specified field. Like I went to college at HBCU. I didn't take the critical race theory class because my field was accounting. Like, but it was there. They offered it. But yeah.
So it's there's a lot of reasons. February being the shortest month of the year. It only has 29 days every 4 years. There's like actually this year is a leap year. But yeah, there's like a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons why Black History Month is.
And speaking on critical race theory, I feel like if you don't want to repeat the sins of the past, right? I feel like the best thing to do would be to tell the truth. There should be no theory. I think the history that's taught should be what actually happened.
Well, I mean,
like
why
the Tulsa massacre, and like just tell the truth, so that way the future generations don't repeat the cycles of hate. They'll see how these things that happened to a certain group of people, and you feel like you wouldn't repeat that, because you see how fucked up it is through a lens of truth.
I agree with that. True. But why on earth would the white people want to do that? Why would they want to relive?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, why don't you want to teach it? Because
because
of the guilt that would start the healing process.
No, because of the guilt that they're gonna feel. It's because of the guilt that they're gonna feel with teaching the truth, right? All these white people are gonna feel like shit because of things that not necessarily they did, but things that maybe their predecessors did, or just people of the same color did. And of course, why on earth would they want to feel guilty about that, right? There's a lot of nuance in that too, where it's like about there could be like there's selfishness involved there, where it's like it's not necessarily their fault. So there's a lot of disassociation that can also happen with that, which means that it's like it could be just swept under the rug, not taught correctly or not taught accurately for a variety of reasons.
Also, remember, like if it's so clear and so concise how messed up things were, like you mentioned, why don't they teach about Tulsa? Because Tulsa happened after slavery. It was objectively terrible, and it was essentially recent, right? Like it was objectively terrible and essentially recent. Like you have the whole perspective of like, well, we can't give these Kanagas reparations. Despite and they'll make the argument 1,000 different arguments of why they don't want to do reparations, why they think Black people should be able to pull themselves up out of bootstraps, like fill in the blank other, like all these other reasons they use, they can't, those reasons fall apart in the face of what actually happened, right? So they don't want to talk about what actually happened because they know if they talk about what actually happened, like they messed up when they admitted about the Trail of Tears. They were like, "Oh yeah, I did that," and like they messed up. Like, and so you got to pay. You got reparations to pay for that. You have to give back. But if they just like, yeah, slavery was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Everybody has slaves at some point. Slaves are a natural part of human. Blah 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 blah. Like all that craziness. Still, because they don't want to actually give what is owed. They want to act like it wasn't so bad. They want to act like Tulsa didn't exist. Tulsa was buried. Tulsa was literally buried. And you said, sorry, last part. But the fact that you was like, hey, like, damn, what did you say? You were like, you're doomed to repeat the past if you don't like learn from it, right? And, like, we're assuming like they don't want to repeat it. Like, we're assuming they don't want free labor again. We're assuming they don't want a second class that a certain group can step upon. We're assuming that they don't want that. That's why I think like maybe they hide it because, well, maybe it's something they wouldn't mind repeating if they could pull it off. And the less we know, the easier it is to get there.
You also,
I don't think the institution of slavery will ever come back per se, right? Obviously, but I feel like
I didn't think a genocide would happen in public view of the world again.
Well,
but
also D. There's also D. There is. I'm not gonna like go to the extreme here, but like there are still like instances where it's very much alive.
Yeah,
like to this day.
True.
Yeah,
you know,
in
like,
America,
like in our face, right in your face, and it's like very much alive, like slavery, the concept and the act of it's still happening.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more. Well, I mean, I'm sure they have like when you talk about underground smuggling rings, and obviously, you know, there are quote unquote slaves, people who are in bondage. But I think a lot of us are economic slaves more than actual physical.
Right. That's the more subtle. That's the more subtle form where it's like you speak about economics, right? Like it's really unfortunate, but like where the like Black people are like the consumer race, where we're basically like spending money that for things that's created by white people. They're like the merchant, right? And we're the consumers, and it's kind of like the rich people. What is someone said this, and it really rang with me. I'm forgetting, but it's kind of like the rich act poor to stay rich, and the poor stay poor because they want to act rich. And that's like white people and Black people respectively.
Oh, that's a good line. I never heard that before. That's good.
So
you said the rich act poor.
The rich act poor to stay rich.
To stay rich.
Saving the money, spending the money only only building up the culture, only bringing the money in their culture, right?
Acting like they populists.
Right. And then, but like unfortunately, like us, like, you know, we out here with the cars and the drugs and the, you know, the sneakers, you know,
and
like
even
the Jordans
culture,
and everything.
You see the rappers with the chains and all that, and
how much debt do you think they're in, or they will be in very soon?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's like the rich act poor to stay rich, but the poor act rich and stay poor, basically. You know, so
man. And when I say like so the past won't repeat, like I don't mean slavery will come back, but I think even like mentally healing a generation of if you can get a generation of white kids right in a school where they teach actually what happened, say in Tulsa, because we just talked about it, like your basic humanity would say, I can't believe this happened to a group of people who built themselves up. Like you would hope that would take root in them because they were told the truth. Where like you can start this whole kind of erasure
And it
of
would.
these racial lines. You know what I mean? Like
I
these were
agree.
people.
And it would, I think. Yeah.
How do you
Right.
guys? So do you think segregation kind of or desegregation kind of shot the black community in the foot? Right? Like if you could go back in time and give Martin Luther King some advice, would you tell him to still pursue desegregation? Because I mean that did kind of destroy the
Yeah.
black community, right? Almost in the sense that like it took the black dollar out of the black community, right? Like when you desegregate a restaurant and now black people can go eat at this restaurant, the owner of the restaurant is probably a white guy, right? So that black money is now going into a white guy owner, restaurant owner's pockets, which is going to a white bank. So that's kind of how you start the siphoning of the money out of the now there is there a black community? I don't think there is a community as far as like purchasing. We're all consumers. This is a consumer society, black, white, everything, right? Like we're all caught up in the net of
Capitalism.
consumption.
Yeah.
Capitalism, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that was the real point of desegregation, man, you know, was to bring that
to get
spending
black
power
money.
into the white community. I think that's why there was such a push for it, you know. Right?
Well,
Arguably, I would say that the white community had more money, so they didn't need black money.
right.
It wouldn't hurt to add a few trillion though, or whatever
Well-
black spending power could have was back then.
Well,
wouldn't
you
hurt.
keep referencing Tulsa, right? Like, think about it. Literally, what was the reason why that happened? Can you answer that? Literally, there was only one reason. Why? What was the reason why that happened? Greed,
Well,
jealousy.
yeah, you would think jealousy or hate, you know, envy. You
Yeah,
know,
greed. Yeah, like it's like there's no way. Even though, like Juice just said, white people already had money. There was no fucking reason. No fucking. There was no real proper motive.
see,
for
I don't
them
know.
to
There
do
was
what
a
they-
there
to
was a
burn
there
it to
was a
the
white
ground.
underclass. There was a white underclass. There were poor.
Yeah,
No,
I was.
no.
You know,
Well-
like back then, the blacks were the laborers, right? We did the we were the carpenters. We did, especially coming out of the era of slavery, where like we were the
But it wasn't. But
we had the trade skills, you know,
correct me
for
if
the
I'm
most
correct.
part.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was it the white underclass that attacked those people and burnt it to the ground?
Now that's what
I don't think it was like a. I think if I don't know. I don't know specifically. I don't want to like lie and shit. But like I feel like if it was jealousy, one, it was definitely racism. Like
Yes.
so,
definitely
it
driven
was
by
because
racism.
they were black and doing well.
Right.
As far as the economic status of the people who attacked them, it may have been mixed. But there's always been a lot of ire of like lower class white people towards black people who do well because they feel like if it wasn't for these niggas, I would be in this role. I would have this, right?
Right.
Like, if it wasn't for them. But I always feel like that is something that's kind of like spoon fed to people who don't have. I feel like it's often spoon fed to lower class, not very intelligent people who don't have a lot of interactions with black people to see that they're normal and buy people with resources to spoon feed them.
Mhm.
So it's very likely it was a mixed bag. Like,
yeah. I mean the reasoning still remains. That remains the same, right? Jealousy, ire, greed.
Yeah.
And that's literally like going back to what you were talking about, D, like that's literally the only reason why something like that happened. And like to Juice's point also, it's because of seeing successful black people. That's not what they want to see. Right?
Yeah.
That's like an
Especially in what, 1921? When was the Oakland massacres? 21, 20? Somewhere in there.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I think it was 1921. I think. Yeah, let me Google this real quick. Pretty sure it was
1921. 1921.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially around that time, right? You could, I mean, those are the days when the Klan was still running around, and imagine all the atrocities that took place that just nobody knows about. Like that just went unheralded.
Exactly.
That all the Tulsas
Yeah,
that happened
yeah.
that no one
Oh yeah.
knows happened.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
The
Oh,
injustices,
oh
the
yeah.
murders. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like,
oh yeah.
God damn, y'all do owe some
Yo,
damn reparations.
did
But now
y'all
you're right.
hear
We
like
can't get into it.
what was it? It was in Mississippi very recently, man. Like they uncovered like a bunch of black bodies like behind a prison,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like just and I think they kind of like started digging and finding this out because a woman's son was like went missing and he was last seen in the custody of the police, and at some point he died in their custody, and they had all of his information, his license. I think they hit him with a car, with the cop car. Anyway, they had all this, and they knew who he was. It was no, and she was calling him, looking for him constantly, and they just tossed his ass in the back of the prison and buried him, and nobody said nothing for like I don't know how long it was. This was a long time, and that's just like it's just like the police are in on it. We see the police for the institution that they are, man. Like as much as we quote unquote need them, like we also understand like what that institution is and how they behave. Like it's like that level of racism is kind of ingrained. So like when you say like when you like ask the question like when do we think that segregation was kind of like a trap in a way? Like I feel like that's kind of the only like desegregation is kind of the only way black people will be able to do anything because
Mm-hmm.
when they draw those lines, they still see us as less, and there'll be Tulsas. I mean, there already was a Tulsa, but there would have been so many more if they didn't have us integrated into the same financial
If
systems that
they
they were
had,
integrated into. If they didn't have
that much
anything
more
riding on
control,
us, mhm,
right?
yeah, it
Yeah,
gave them.
I see what you
Mhm,
mean.
yeah, I think it's
I
like
mean,
I
yeah,
think yeah,
he's
it's the
straight
only
up
way it
saying like
would have worked.
it gave us some kind of leverage, something. It was better that it was better than the alternative of staying segregated and then having that much more control over us.
So remember, they don't see us as human. They didn't. The racists, those people didn't see us as human. So they weren't like, oh, these people are doing well. They were like, these fill in the blank are a menace, and they're taking our stuff. These niggas,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then it's just like, yeah, the desegregation put us on the same legal, quote unquote, same, right?
Playing
We know
field.
there's discrepancy, but like it gave us more of a chance. I feel like without that kind of like at least putting on paper that we're equal. At least without that, like there was no way they would have let us continue. Like,
And even then, we still had to deal with the 3/5 compromise, right? You remember that? We still had to deal with that at the time of desegregation too. Like, so we were literally not even a whole fucking person to them. Like one of us was literally not a whole person. And we were 3/5 of a person to them,
Which is
just to try
crazy.
to stay on the same playing field.
I was listening to something where they talk about like the language they actually used in the Constitution, right? And then like the Declaration where they wouldn't actually say the word slave or slavery. They would put things like to whom persons it may concern, or like they would use terms like persons or
legalese.
like that kind of legalese speak.
Yeah.
They never used the word slavery because they didn't want future generations to
Property
kind of, I guess, look at it hypocritically, where you
Property,
you
God
pronounce
damn it.
freedom and equality, but you're a slave owner on the side of it. I think desegregation though definitely shot the black community in the foot. But I'm with you, Juice. I think that's the only way it could have went. Especially when you're running a capitalistic society where things are based off, consumption, and we need people to buy things, right? So why would we not allow these black dollars to come into our stores and purchase goods? And then we're going to end up keeping those black dollars. We don't want them to have a community outside of ours. we want them to have the same purchasing power that everybody else has, right? I think it turned all
Appeal
of us
to their greedy nature, right?
Yeah,
Appeal to
I
the
think that
greedy
was why
nature
there was
of the
such a big
capitalists.
push.
Well,
I don't think it had anything to do with
but-
wanting to be fair to black people. You know, I think it was a lot of it was capitalistic driven, man.
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, I would say to that too. It's also a matter of like the mental. It's like a mental form of slavery that we're still under to this day, where again, you know, like it seems like other cultures, Asian culture, white people, European cultures, they build their culture up, they build their people up by keeping the money with them, right? Whereas like I think we're the only people, or one of the few that don't do that, right? Like actively. Like as a community, as a culture, we don't do that. We give our money to everyone else, but we don't use that. We don't use that same money or resources to build ourselves up. In fact, we break each other down, right? Like, like we, you know, crabs in a barrel, just breaking everyone down, breaking us down ourselves. And it's like kind of like that mental, like we still like we're still like have this subservient mentality to use our dollar to serve the majority, which will become the minority.
Yeah.
Or should be the minority at this point in time, you know? Like it's fucked.
Yeah.
It would require.
I mean, we still never had a fair chance. We never had a fair chance. Yeah, we never had that fair chance. You know, it's just like
all the biggest institutions in the United States. You know, that were started some time ago. You know, like we were excluded from participation in any of those. You know, so like for us, future generations. I mean, if we were allowed participation, you know, as a person, then you know, who knows? Juice's granddad could have been the head of Merrill Lynch at some point. He could have gotten you know, so how do you reparate, or like how do you give reparations for that, something like that, right? Like, is money going to be enough? I don't think reparations should come in the form of money. You know, you have to give people kind of like an economic base almost. How do you make up for denying, you know, when you hear things like redlining, how they, you know, they created the ghettos and they would only sell to black people within these certain city limits that, you know, they could kind of neglect basic services for, you know, water, public services. And, you know, like, how do you make up for that? I don't know if reparations will ever work, because I don't think there's a fair way to actually divvy out.
There's no interest for it to work. That's the issue. Like, they don't care. Like they're not going, it's not going to happen.
Was started to be fair about it.
I wish it would. Yeah. Like they're not interested in it. You know what I'm saying? Like here, there's a whole push against, what is it? Diversity, equity, and inclusion right now in the workplace. You know, they overturned some of the what was it, affirmative action, but like they in the schools, like because they were saying, oh, black people were just being let in for whatever reason, completely lying about what these affirmative action programs do. But those are currently under attack, and like they're talking. When I say them, I mean like the white commentators, the Fox News people, like
who are just
Charlie Kirk and them,
speaker boxes
like,
for the establishment. You know,
they're not even establishment, like for like the white supremacy, like straight up white supremacy. Like they're talking like Shapiro or Charlie Kirk? One of them literally recently said, it was like, yeah, when I see a black person flying an airplane, I'm like, he probably was just led into this role. Like he probably doesn't actually know what he's doing. And he's just saying this stuff out loud, like there's not requirements for being a pilot. Like any black pilot just got the job because of affirmative action. It's just like objectively racist shit, because
Ben Shapiro,
you can't just be a pilot for no effing reason. Like you can't just be a pilot because you felt like.
You know what? all those people saw that movie with Denzel where he was a drunk pilot. They all saw that movie. They be like, oh shit, we can't know black people flying planes. They're gonna get drunk and all that.
No.
What was that movie? Flight?
Well,
Was that Flight?
I mean,
Yeah.
Flight.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
But you know what? Ben Shapiro says like sometimes he has some good points, sometimes. But like he has that smug ass little look on his face. You know what I'm saying? That you're just like, dude, I just want to like slap your chin or something, man. Like, you know, because he'll say something ignorant, but he just says it with the smuggiest little look. And you're like, all right, man. You know, I could listen to Alex Jones 100 times over Ben.
It's called
Shapiro.
bigotry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little bit. Yeah, he's a big. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the man personally. I feel like maybe if I sat next to him on a plane, could I get into a conversation with Ben Shapiro without yelling? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't want to
He's
talk
not
to
going to sit
niggas.
next to you on a plane,
Yeah,
dude.
you don't sit next to niggas. He'd go complain to the like. I'm sorry. This
I'm
is
willing to sit next to this. He's like, excuse me, attendant. There must be a mistake.
bro.
Apparently, there's a Kaniga on this flight. A Kaniga. So, excuse me.
Somehow a nigga got on his flight. I don't know what happened.
Somehow.
How did you get past security? Yeah.
So you're looking through the roster, you look at the register, you're like, is there a Kaniga on this flight?
But that's why, you know what, man? I'm in favor, and I guess maybe the last point on Black History Month, it kind of goes back. Remember when they were taking down all those statues and all the Confederate statues and everything? You remember this happened some years ago? And I'm like, I kind of was never on board with that because, like, I want my kids to know the truth. I want them to know the truth of what this country honored and what they valued. I want them to know that you were not you were kind of this 3/5 of a person. Like they didn't even value you as a whole. And that's why I say I think teaching the truth, if they really had the best interest of the American people at heart, and that's when I say they, I mean the people who are in charge of school curriculums, the establishment, you know, like if they really had the best interest for the American future and like cohesion and just American pride amongst its populace, you would want to teach the truth, right? You don't want to shortcut shit. And I guess I see why you would not want to if you were a white person.
If they had the best interests of the American people at heart, this country would look very different.
Yeah.
Well,
this country would look very different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have the best interests of white America at heart.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even think that's true.
This is one of those things. This is one of those things. This is one of those things, D, that you got to be the person to tell your kids how it really was. You got to be the one to explain like actual history, right? Because your perspective is different from everyone else, or from how the curriculum is taught.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be the one. You got
and a good time to do that.
Yes, sir.
Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you got it. Like,
I'm not saying I don't want a Black
tell
History
them like,
Month.
I don't totally tell them like, instead of a Captain America, there's a Captain America statue now in Prospect Park where there used to be a Confederate statue. A statue
that would be awesome if they put a Captain America, like a Steve Rogers joint down there.
They did. This is real. Tough. Like they put in Prospect Park in Brooklyn,
really?
New York. Yes, they took down this is down a Confederate statue. I forget who it was but they put up a Captain America statue in its place.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that'd still be dope.
I didn't even know that.
So
because it's crazy because like those Confederate statues, man, like I don't know if y'all know, but like there's people walking around not totally sure who won. Like them niggas lost. Sorry, them niggas lost. It's like they lost the war, and they got statues. Where's Grant's statue? Like where's the winning side statue? But no, they got Lee up that joint, like leading the charge, like he won. Like this nigga lost.
Well, we're definitely in Virginia.
Like,
we're definitely in Virginia, and I mean, shit. You kind of don't even know what to say. History is fucked up, but you'd rather teach to the victors.
This is the one time history was not told by the victors. It was told by the.
What was that group of ladies who wanted to honor all the Confederate? Was it
Wives of Liberty or some shit like that?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about though. Yeah.
They funded that show and just had them like a bunch of Confederate ass statues strewn across the South.
Yeah, because you're going across this bridge, and you're like, I see this statue all the time, but I don't know who the fuck this motherfucker is. Come to find out, he's like,
holy shit, guys, it's just rich people.
yeah. This motherfucker slaughtered an entire village of black people. So like,
y'all know, man. Y'all know me, man. Like, it's just rich people. Just rich people fucking.
Oh man, that's crazy, man. Well, hey, happy Black History Month, regardless to everybody.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't want a month. I'm just saying that it shouldn't be relegated to just 1 month. I kind of agree.
Should be 2.
Black history is American history, man.
It should be 2.
We should have like a quarter
2.
of the year. Quarter of the year at least, man.
It's only fair.
It's only fair.
Mm-hmm. But as black people, I can say we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot, like culturally sometimes, like especially a lot of the music we support is very ignorant. I'll just say, a lot of our biggest stars, biggest stars talk about bitches and hoes, and it's just even back in the day, those black exploitation movies. You know what I'm talking about, like the jumps with like what's the lady's name? Pam Grier and all that.
Brown.
Grier, yeah.
And it's like you look at them Jones, you're like, dude, you're so ignorant, because it's like the typical black dude selling smack. But I guess those people back then didn't know that the smack came into their communities from, rich white people. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just kind of there. I don't know. Black
exploitation is a whole.
I don't think it's a coincidence that those came after all the drugs, and the black exploitation came after desegregation, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, okay, that we got these dudes to spend this money. Now how do we destabilize their communities? We need to break these motherfuckers up. We can't have Huey P. Newtons running around and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to get these motherfuckers destabilized, bro.
So, it's to a point. You're right. Like it wasn't a coincidence, and that was one of the reasons, right? Like, but it was also with blaxploitation. It was like the only chance for black people to be on screen to help try to tell these stories. Unfortunately, the pigeonholing came in, and we were only portrayed as like the hero. Even the heroes in those movies were portrayed as like super aggressive.
Yeah,
like hyper aggressive,
hypersexual
women.
Like just like just like
pimps and all this.
Like guns blasting, blowing away every motherfucker that comes in their way. It doesn't matter how old, young, who you were, right? Like fucking, like I love like Black Dynamite for this reason, right? Because Black Dynamite is a parody of like exploitation films, and it's like even in those films though back in the day, but like at the end of Black Dynamite, he fights against Richard Nixon. It's the final battle. Right, Black Dynamite versus the President of the United States. That's the final battle, and it's like, but it's like that's kind of like the message. That's kind of like the message they were trying to bring across, where it was like, yo, like I'm a hyper aggressive, hypersexualized black man or black woman, and I'll go all the way to the fucking top because I'm just gonna use my anger and my animal instincts to get to the fucking top, and no one's gonna get in my fucking way. And it's unfortunate that it's like it's like from that stemmed a lot of the stereotypes that like other people and cultures see us as, right? The drug dealing, the drug dealing, still hypersexualized, super aggressive, always angry. Stereotypes.
One person told me they learned about something. They was like, yeah, I know black people like this. There's somebody at work. I forget where they were from, man. And they were like, I know black people like to do this. I saw it on TV. I'm like, dude, you really think that what black people do on TV is really like how black people act? I mean, no, sometimes it is. Okay, sometimes it is. But like, you can't learn about black people off TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is true. Like, a lot of those ignorant stereotypes were perpetuated then,
That's how racism works, though. It's all about stereotypes
exactly.
From afar. The most racist people don't even know a black person. Never met one.
They claim they do. They claim they have black friends. They claim they do. They claim they have black friends, or they have the one.
Black like Clarence Thomas.
That one black friend is representative of all black people.
Their whole
That's
like
that's the same reason why you see on every fucking if you still watch the news, every fucking black person they get to fucking be on an interview is like the worst fucking person imaginable because it's entertaining, right?
Yeah.
But
black people are entertaining.
is making us all look bad.
Black people
We
are
are
entertaining.
entertaining, but it's like this is not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like it's like you get the worst fucking individual to come on and start talking shit, like, and it's just like I can't, like, I'm just like why? I'm like, why is this like this? Why is it like why are we targeted in this way? But anyway, there's a whole lot of institutional racism that is all over it in very nuanced ways, and in your face, not in your face.
And they love it, and they make money off of us, and they love us because they love it because we make this kind of content, man. They love the violence. Look, man, like people like bad stuff, right? Like, and it's not just black people who are making like crazy black exploitation. Like there were black exploitation, but there was goddamn like a mafia movies and shoot 'em ups and like there's violent movies forever. Like that's what people watch. Like they have and they did pigeonhole black people to a certain type of violence, right? But it's always been about effing rods and shooting people with the biggest gun you can find, right? That's just kind of how like media has always is geared towards. Like that's how our entertainment is, right? So yeah, man, like to a degree, I don't know. I like black exploitation films, though. So I always enjoyed it.
I feel like a lot of the actors and actresses and people behind the scenes who worked on those black exploitation films would like, further down the road would kind of realize like the impact they had, negative or positive on the culture. Like I saw an interview with I don't know if it was Snoop or Dr. Dre or somebody, man. He was like, now they're older and they look back on a lot of that music they made, NWA, and I remember that early West Coast gangster rap shit. Like I think it was Snoop, man. And he was like, man, I'm proud of all the projects I've done, all the music I made. But he was like, when I go back and listen to that shit sometimes, in my older age, he's like, I can't believe I said that shit. I think even RZA, he mentioned something like that. He was like, but I gotta honor it because I made the music, But like, as you get older, you just mature and hopefully.
Dude, I saw a picture. Hey, randomly, I was looking up something. But I saw a picture of Project Pat, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, he was in that joint in a minivan. He looked like a Republican, bro. Like he looked like a black Republican. Like he had like a white woman in the passenger seat. He was like smiling.
He looked good though. He looked good. He went on like this. Remember
he
back
looked good.
then,
He looked healthy.
Project Pat was big as hell.
I was like, goddamn, that's Project Pat. That's Project.
I know we've been on a Black History Month
crazy.
For the last 43 minutes, but I've been looking at a list of movies from 2020. I don't know how you can narrow this down to just one movie, man. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know where we're going to transition to next. But
we're just jumping right to this. Okay.
I mean, I'm looking at all these movies. I'm like, hold on. Are we picking our top 3 movies for 2023 or
just one, man? Let's keep it short. Just one.
Oh man. One. I mean, because you had things like Guardians 3 and you had John Wick 4. So like, how can I pick which? Like,
well, did you want to segue into what we're
narrow
talking
this down?
About?
Hold on, I just want to. Hey, let's just knock out this story real quick though on the football guy. Like, because I gotta show y'all this, man. I gotta show y'all this thing. I gotta show y'all I did some research and I think I solved the case. But hey, Frank, you just set it real quick. Okay. We'll knock it out real quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Right. So about
I'm gonna share screen.
I want to say about 2-3 months ago, there was apparently this kid who is from Indiana. I never had a beautiful mind moment in my life until I saw his name. So this kid he's a high school football player in his school in Indiana. Apparently he's really good, and apparently he might be going places. But his name is Noah I can't say it the real way. I'm just gonna say it what I think it looks like, and then we'll go from there. But his name is Noah Nigga.
Noah Nigga. I'm sharing my screen. I don't see the job.
So okay, so the thing is, like, as soon as everyone saw this, everyone said that same comment down there is like, announcers are about to be in hell next season, because how are they going to do this? How are they going to try to say that name like on live TV or on?
Can you believe the arm of this Kanega?
Yeah. So the next obvious question is like, oh my God, like, is the name really pronounced how it looks like, right? Because, you know, we don't say knife, cano, knowledge, right?
Yeah.
We say knife, Noah, knowledge. The K is silent. So in this case, the rule still applies to this the way this is spelled. So this K is silent. So this literally is nigga. So
this nigga's name is Nigga.
this nigga
on national.
So everybody's asking, like, oh my God, like, how is this possible? His name is, oh my God, it's like the Dave Chappelle skit in real life. So everybody trusts. So this dude became, like, he went viral overnight, like instantly, because this is not something that we see every day. So my man RG3 decided to kind of like try to close this case and find out what the pronunciation is. So RG3 interviewed his whole family and tried to find out the origins of the last name. So apparently his last name is not pronounced nigga like it reads, but it's pronounced Kanega. And as soon as the dad, because, you know, the dad's last name is Kanega. So as soon as the dad said that, everyone in the world had a collective, like, nigga. Nigga. Like nigga. This is not pronounced Kanega. This is pronounced nigga. So RG3 interviewed the whole family, and he tried his hardest. He was doing the Lord's work. He tried his hardest to get them to say nigga on live, like on a live stream, and they wouldn't do it. And they knew what he was trying to do, and they dodged all of his questions. I put the link in the private chat for y'all if y'all want to watch it. But like he tried so hard, and even to a point where he was like, hey, why don't you guys maybe want to, like, try to get a shirt that says Kanega, please? And they were like, oh yeah, I see why that would be funny. And he's like, why would that be funny? And they're like, oh no, you know, we're not gonna do that. And I'm like, oh man. Like, man.
I'm gonna say there is marketing value in a name, not particularly for him, because he seems like he's a white guy. And I guess
but I mean, like, could you imagine like being an announcer, like commentating on one of his games, and he's doing well, so you have to highlight him, and you have like Jim and Bill over here. One of them's gonna fucking slip up. Instead of saying Kanega, they're gonna say, yo, that nigga just threw a Hail Mary. They'd be like, hey, Jim, did you hear what you just said? You can't say that. You're like, man, Bob, you know exactly what I was saying. You know you were gonna say it too eventually.
This nappy-headed
call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is, and just call him by the name, by the way it reads. And I'm just like, I personally never would imagine I see something like this. Like,
they just gotta have black announcers whenever he plays. That's it. Like, you only have black announcers whenever he plays. They can just call him by his name, okay?
I just, like, I can't.
This nigga threw. I can't believe this nigga threw an interception.
Yeah. And apparently, this dude plays basketball, like, really well in his high school team as well. And so, like it or not, we might see this nigga. We might see this
nigga out here breaking ankles.
He might be the next Bo Jackson. We never know, right? Like, but like with a name like that,
Mookie.
man, he's got to go far.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
man.
I'd be interested to follow his early career, right? Because they said he had everything started from when he had an unofficial visit to a Big 12 program, I guess, for a college that he's trying to go to. So Noah Kaniga is a 6'2", 205-pound linebacker from Lawrenceburg High School, Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Class of 2025 prospect. Kaniga is one of the top linebacker prospects in Indiana. So there is a.
Can I just correct you real quick? This D is just saying Kaniga.
Well, that's how his name is pronounced, right? The Kaniga.
That's
no,
Kaniga.
Kaniga.
So they said
Kaniga.
It was such a huge story that ESPN's Pat McAfee picked up on it. And when he Kaniga clarified
Kaniga.
It isn't pronounced with a silent K, leading to a huge sigh of relief from television broadcasters to public address announcers. There is, being a football fan, there is a market for unusual names in the NFL, you know. And I have a list here of unusual named players who were in the NFL. And I'm just going to throw a couple of them out there. Dick Butkus, the famous Hall of Fame linebacker who played for the Chicago Bears. It's another guy.
That's a real name?
Dick
I thought that was just I thought that was just the name from that Simpsons skit.
No, so I think they probably make this. It is a funny name though. Dick Butkus. He played a linebacker for the Bears.
MLP.
Another name, Captain Munnerlyn. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. So there's some marketing there. The problem with this is going to be he's white and they can't market because a t-shirt with Kaniga please on it, I might have to get one of those jokes, man. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. Hey, real talk. No, everybody's going to buy his jersey. Everybody is going to want that jersey. Like I would
definitely get that drink.
Every black person's going to want this jersey. It's true. And white people don't want it too because black people want it. It's gonna happen. Hey, so let me just point out. They say his name is allegedly pronounced etymologically as Kaniga. Well, I think we all know of a rapper from the mid 90s, 2000s, who was very famous and had a very similar name that we know it as what it is. And his name wasn't, this isn't Coops the Kaniga.
It's Coops the Nicka.
It's Coops the Nicka.
Well, he can say it like that because I remember hearing him say on the album.
Don't you dare say
Coops the Nicka.
This man Dennis put us on this. Okay, but see, he named himself Coops the Nicka. He named himself that. This guy's actually pronounced.
This nigga's last name is nigga because his dad's last name is nigga.
Mm-hmm.
The mom adopted the last name of nigga.
Oh my God!
It makes you wonder.
Can you imagine what her parents were thinking when she came home with this nigga?
Like
she came home with this nigga and was like, he asked me to marry him.
Mom, this is my new nigga.
This is my nigga now.
I want to see a picture of his parents. You have a picture of his parents?
Like, I'm gonna. No, I don't have a picture, but like
her dad was outraged.
They look like
it sucks. It sucks for him, man, because this is a huge missed marketing opportunity for this guy, man. Like, especially if he's any good. If he's good,
I think this could be the thing that
I don't think he can monetize
really
good. I don't think he can monetize.
He can't monetize this, but this is gonna catapult his career. He's gonna be very noticed.
Yeah, it'll bring some notoriety.
Y'all remember this album, Coops the Kaniga's album?
I remember Dennis bumping that joint on the way to see him at Richmond, man. Dennis had a blast in that joint, bro.
Coops the Kaniga, man. Like, Connect.
No.
His name is Coops the
Apparently it's Oops the Nicka.
You know what?
Because the K is silent. Remember that.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw an
Oops.
interview.
Oops.
Oops the Nicka.
Oops the connector.
Oops the Nicka.
Who was the other producer? It was DTJ, and who was the other guy?
Jesus Christ.
You know who I'm talking about? Not Crunchy Black. He was one of them, but the other dude, one with the arm, Project DJ Paul. So
Yeah,
DJ Paul was in an interview once, and he was like, "Man, some of these albums, because you know this was, came out on all that 3-6 stuff back in the day. He was like, man, we used to go in there and drop these ignorant albums because some of these like the board of executives, and it'd be all white people, and they would put this joint on and play it, and it's like just some of the ignorantest music you've ever heard in your life. You know what I'm saying? And he's playing it for these people, these professionals, and they're like, yeah, push it out. That's great. That sounds great. He's like, man, I look back on some of that shit. I'm like, damn, dog. No, they had a song. 3-6 had a song. I don't know if you listen to 3-6, Frank, but we had a little stint there. We was listening to Project. They had a song where they had like samples of pornos in the background. Remember, they was rapping over the joint, and he was beating the joint in the background. He was like, man, you gotta try this. He was smacking the girl's ass in the, you know what I'm saying, in the song, and it's like, it's so ignorant, bro. How do you take that into a room full of people and drop that like this is art? You know what I'm saying? Is it? Like,
hey, art is subjective, all right? Art is always subjective. Hey, like I watched the James Brown movie with Chadwick Boseman recently, man. And dude, they was initially like, what the hell is this? This isn't music. This isn't a song. Where's the music? And it was like this. Yeah, just over. Dude, you gotta leave it. Just let the artists do their thing, man.
James Brown is like the epitome of soul. I still have James Brown on my playlist, man. Like, like it's a man's world. Hey, he's the epitome of soul. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about soul music, you know that meme where James Brown comes up to the microphone all hot and sweaty, and his fucking wig is all over.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Was it a wig? Or that was his real hair.
He had that pressed.
That was pressed. That was pressed hair, but it was with a jacket. The robe or whatever. You just keep throwing it off, and they keep putting it back on him. He's like, no.
That shit was soul. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like going back to like the sports aspect of unfortunate names. So you know Steve Kerr, his son's name is Nick. Put that together.
Nick Kerr. Yeah.
Nick Kerr. Aww. Yeah. So like that's unfortunate. And then you also have.
Why would you do that to your boy?
MLB. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was thinking right with that one. But unfortunately,
we'll name him Nicholas.
MLB and NBA, you got like Coco Crisp, Milton Bradley, fucking Longar, Chubba Hubbard, Dick Trickle.
Yep, Chuba Hubbard. I had him on my fantasy team this year.
Yeah, you have some unfortunate names.
It makes you wonder, like, what's the genesis of a name like Kanega? How does that even come about? You know,
dude. Apparently, there's a video on YouTube. It's a video on YouTube with the etymological breakdown of Kanega.
Really?
I didn't watch it, but I saw it come up, and I was looking around for it. So I haven't watched it yet, but
I mean, I think
all I know about it is that they're lying.
Yeah. As soon as I heard how it was pronounced, like literally, I think like every single black person psychically were linked and just did to look like.
Nigga, please. I know the word nigga when I see
every black person looked at each other like
they just look into the distance. You just look into the distance. You feel someone's looking at you, just like.
You know, I had a Ghanaian ask me the other day at work. This guy's is a straight Ghanaian, man. Came here a couple years ago.
Ghanaian.
He's like, why do black Americans, why do y'all not like when other races call y'all a nigga? You know, like why do y'all not like that? And you know, but y'all call each other that all the time, you know.
We said when other races?
Yeah, when other races, like white people or even Hispanics, right? We hear Hispanics saying the word nigga.
Oh, and, is he okay with it?
It's weird because
is he okay if somebody came out and called him nigga?
He called me a nigga.
I wonder.
Well, you know the thing with them is they hear the young Americans talk, because there's a lot of young Americans in there, and they just throw the, some people don't have they can't turn it on and off. They just say whatever they're thinking wherever they are, so you hear nigga, nigga, nigga. And I guess it was just on his mind. And I'm like, how do y'all personally feel about the word nigga? Like, does nigga offend you? I can see why older generations, like say your parents would be offended by the word nigga, maybe, right? But I guess it's kind of cool that we took a word that was degrading and flipped it on its head, and now it's endearing, right? I guess that's the point. I didn't really know what to tell him. I was like, why are we cool calling each other niggas? Because the genesis of it was it was degrading towards us, You feel like we took that word and threw it in the trash. But it's permeated all throughout our culture. Like, everybody says nigga. It'd be a group of Hispanic kids with not one black person in it, and they'll be nigga, please, nah, nigga, I didn't nigga, like we all see it, It's like, what the hell?
So they'll let their black homie come through.
It's definitely deeply rooted in our culture, and it's because of ownership, right? Word, like that word is ours, right? Like, that's why we did what we did with the word. Right. Mm-hmm. And I admit there's a certain je ne sais quoi to saying the word nigga, right? like to emphasize a point or to make a joke or something. Yeah. There's a certain
it's a very functional linguistic tool.
It is, and it can mean a lot.
Very expansive.
Yeah. And I was trying to explain to the dude that, like, it's a term of endearment, right? If I say you my nigga, you are one of my best friends, right? Like, but it can also be degrading, because if you acting like a nigga, you know what I'm saying? It just depends on the context in which you're using the word nigga. Because nigga also is synonymous with ignorance, right? You acting like a nigga, you acting.
That's nigger.
When you add the
ER. Yeah. Why you gotta act like a nigga?
Yeah. When you add the ER, that's when it's like, like, was it Chris Rock?
I remember Juice told me one time, he's like, nobody want to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, right. You acting like a nigga, you being a nigga, you acting ignorant. Okay, it's hands down. I understood exactly.
Everybody want to be the nigga. Don't nobody want to be the nigga.
Yeah, that's what Paul Mooney said, right? Everybody want to be a nigga. They don't want to be a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Paul Mooney is not that funny, but sometimes he'll catch you off guard. He'll be like, "Oh shit, man!"
He had some gems, man. He had some true gems.
Yeah.
But like, R.I.P. But like, like,
R.I.P. also to Carl Weathers, man. Like, bro, like, I meant to bring that up, man. Like, the last discussion.
Black History Month too. Fuck.
Yeah, bro. Like, man, that's a
I remember one. Carl Weathers from obviously Rocky, right? Mm-hmm. He was in the first Predator. Because I remember when him and Dutch met up, and that's like a classic scene where they both, when they both clapped each other's hands and both of their biceps are in.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Classic scene. Carl Weathers held his own. He held his own in that scene, man. He was big. He was a big dude. Yeah, what else was he in? Let me look up Carl Weathers.
Action Jackson, dog.
Right.
Yeah.
He was in Action Jackson. He was in Happy Gilmore.
Yep. Yeah, he had like the missing hand.
He was a magical Negro. Yeah, he was a magical Negro in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, man. That's crazy too, man. It's like,
and he most recently was in Mandalorian. So.
The Mandalorian.
Right. Yep.
Man. Like, dude, man. Like his IMDb history is like crazy. Like, he's been in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was definitely a part of our childhood, because we all grew up kind of in the 80s and came of age to like movies. And he was in a lot of movies that we remember from the 80s, It's just, I guess certain actors are kind of ingrained in us from that time. Like, I think an actor like somebody like Michael Keaton, because everybody's seen that first Batman movie, So like I will always have a special place in my heart for Michael Keaton, like a guy like I don't know, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks has been in so many movies, man. That dude had like a marvelous career,
Yeah.
And you look at the movies he started out doing in the 80s, Big, and all these slapstick kind of comedy movies, Splash and all that. So like going where he went, doing, you know, Saving Private Ryan, and yeah, that dude's a straight up gem, man. But yeah, R.I.P. to Carl Weathers, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm thinking, man, I'm kind of regretting that like he wasn't in the Creed franchise.
Right.
Yeah, me too, man.
Like for some reason, like, you know, just like for any reason to bring him back, you know, like I understand he's a dead character in that franchise, but like
a flashback.
Just any reason to bring him back, you know, or like say Creed gets knocked out, and like when the count up is going, like he sees his dad, and his dad's
because he was like he was a super important character, man. Like in Rocky, dude. Like he was the impetus. He was the impetus
because he was a huge catalyst
success,
for Rocky to rise to the top, right?
So that was
the villain in the first movie, and then then they had the rematch in the second movie. It was fucking classic.
So he died in Rocky 3, right? Correct.
Rocky 4.
Yeah.
So I heard that Carl Weathers, that actor, he only made like 40-some thousand or 50,000 from the first movie and 50,000 from the second movie, and I think contractually they were obligated to pay him some millions or something like that. I think I saw this. I don't know how true this is. I didn't research it, but they were obligated to pay him about 10 times more than what he had made the previous movies, and that's when they decided to have his character killed off. You know, I don't know how true that is. Maybe I should look that up before I throw that out there. But
I know the first Rocky movie. The first Rocky movie was made for nothing, right? Because Sylvester Stallone was trying to sell it to all these movie studios, and everyone passed because they were like, nobody's gonna like this. Yeah. And then MGM eventually,
I think you lost at the end.
Gave him a chance, but he put every cent he ever had into that movie. So I'm assuming that's probably why, like, Carl Weathers probably couldn't get paid that much. Probably did it more as a favor. Said it would become something more, and it did.
Sylvester Stallone said that Carl Weathers was integral in the creation of those movies. Like, he really did him a huge favor, you know.
Apollo Creed, the character, that was a huge driving force for the main character, right? Like he was just this wall, you know. So I don't know. I just regret not having seen him in the Creed franchise.
Yeah,
as it was, but rest in peace for sure. Great actor.
R.I.P. Definitely. Man. Hey, and good luck to Noah Kanega as well, man. I hope you make it to the Big 12.
We hope.
I hope he's actually good at, because it's tough, man. Breaking into professional sports is tough, man. You got, you know.
Apparently he's almost there. So
you got a limited number of spots.
That's the announcements.
I think overall in the NFL there might be 2,800 or 3,000 players, I think, active players who are actually on a roster. And I mean, you got millions of people trying out. So it's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough to make it, but I hope he's good, man. I wish him luck in the future, man. He's definitely got an interesting last name. He's only in high school, so I doubt he has many highlights. There's no highlights of him yet.
I hope the nigga hangs in there.
Yeah, I hope that nigga hangs in there, man. I want to say Yo, it sucks too because there is marketing value behind that name, especially in the black community. Dog. Like you could see Snoop Dogg having a
nigga hangs in there.
You know, yeah, like
hang in there, nigga.
Or something. Yeah, I love that nigga, man. Love that nigga.
That nigga gonna be fine. That nigga's gonna be fine.
Yeah, that nigga be alright.
They got marketing behind this, man. If he was black.
Duh, I just can't get over his mom marrying his dad and going to her parents.
She's arguing with her dad and her mom, like, I'm gonna be a nigga. I'm gonna be a nigga.
I'm gonna marry this nigga.
I'm gonna marry a nigga.
and your grandchildren are gonna be niggas too.
Yo, like, I'm gonna marry a nigga, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna marry this nigga. I love this nigga.
I love this. I love this nigga.
I love this nigga, and this nigga loves me.
Oh, yo.
And imagine that dude is standing right there. He's like, "It's Kanega. It's Kanega.
Yo.
It's Kanega.
It's
Honey,
Kanega.
honey, it's Kanega. It's Kanega."
Not now. Yo, you know. Oh man, you know her. Oh man, her family was heated.
I can't.
Oh Lord.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's good. I love this nigga.
I love this nigga. This nigga loves me.
Oh, all these little all these little nigga babies running around.
We're gonna. I'm gonna have little nigga.
Yo, we gotta get pulled off screen.
Have a little nigga babies with this nigga. Oh my god!
Oh Jesus Christ!
I can't, dude. Oh shit!
Oh man!
Can you
Oh
imagine?
Jesus Christ!
So they said since this thing has went viral, he has been reached out to from Indiana University, Kentucky, Liberty, and Northwestern.
Sure.
I'm like, bro, that's great.
I'm sure.
This is great for your exposure.
Man, you know white people always looking for a reason to say nigga.
That's why I said I hope he's actually a good football player, because that's what's ultimately going to land him.
Apparently he is.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he is, but I'm thinking his name has carried him a long way through that.
He got a lot of chances.
That
for
name,
being that nigga.
There's a place for weird names in the NFL. There was a player that Washington drafted when they were called the team that should not be mentioned. But there's a player, his name was Bakari Rambo. No, he couldn't play, but they drafted him, bro. So like that, just seeing that name on the back of the jersey is like
Bakari Rambo is a good one.
Weird names. Imagine his name on the back of a jersey.
Remember RG3? Like he goes by Robert Griffin. It was like RG3 this, RG3 that. People love like the brand. Right?
Yeah, that brand.
I mean, he washed out, right? But like, you know,
that's why I said
it was like everybody,
because he could brand off of this, man. Like this would take off in the black community if he was like.
No,
I think
if he was black, he would have changed his name by now.
You might be right.
It would have been nothing. It would have been nothing.
I could see it being a negative.
It would have been a lot of fights. He never would have met at a high school. He'd be too busy fighting people. It would have been a problem. You can't be black and have that name. You gotta be a white guy and be proud of it.
How did he make it through?
Or Asian.
I guess there must not be a lot of black people in Indiana, wherever he's from in Indiana.
I'm sure. Well, it's Indiana. I don't think there's a lot of black people in Indiana. But even if
I think like he would have been getting into fights all the time anyway, just out of irritation. Like, why y'all keep fucking with me for my name? Damn. Every day we go through this shit. All right. I'd have been getting tired of that shit.
We're conflicted out here, but we don't allow any kind of niggas up in here.
He'd have been an honorary nigga, man.
White.
You know what I'm saying?
Even if
I bet you got a lot of black friends
over here.
I'm just saying, like he played ball and he played football. Like I'm sure he got a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be the next Bo Jackson.
It's just how did he stand having that name around all them black friends every day? You know what I'm saying? And maybe the black friends got tired of joking on it, because you feel like that shit would just get on my nerves, you know? Like I might have fought people just from it getting on my nerves. They keep fucking with me over it, you know? Leave me the fuck alone, man. You know what my name is. Damn.
Well, I mean, I think maybe he made the right choice getting in this sport.
But you know, some niggas don't care. They just gonna keep poking at you. They don't care. Some niggas don't care, man.
And maybe one of those niggas that don't care is him.
Mm-hmm.
He don't care what anything.
That nigga don't give a damn.
I'm sorry. That name is pronounced nigga, not Kanega.
It's like I don't.
Anyway,
Who's the Kanega? All right, moving on. All right, wait, D. So what was the you want to talk about the movies, right? Because I figured we could tie in like
top movies of 2023.
I figured like we could tie in the top movie 2023 and like.
And then what we're looking
maybe
for.
talk about the Marvel predictions and stuff also. Or
Man. So look, these are just some of the top movies, and I know Frank. This was Frank definitely hits us with the cool topics all the time, and like he's trying to get us to narrow down to one of the best movies. Okay, so these are some of the movies that came out in 2023, and these are not necessarily the best.
like,
Oppenheimer came out.
Yeah. I
Wonka,
didn't
The
see that though.
Marvels. I didn't see Oppenheimer either, but I heard it was great. Godzilla -1 came out. Barbie.
I think
Whether
that
you
might be.
whether you
Mhm.
liked or hated Barbie, you have to put it up there with a top movie. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came out. Aquaman, The
Oh,
Lost Kingdom,
true.
The Color Purple came out.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, how can we narrow this down to just one movie? You know, The Little Mermaid. I guess we can try.
Well,
You know,
just think about it. It should be. I mean, it's easy for me, but like for you guys, like just to keep it short, like what was a movie
shit.
that blew you away
I
last
missed it.
year? You know,
Spider-Man,
like
Spider-Verse.
see, I would say Spider-Man, but we had already had Into the Spider-Verse, so like,
But I got an album off
liked
this one.
I like the second one just as much, but I don't want to say it necessarily blew me away because I had seen something similar before. I'll probably say the movie I was most surprised by out of all the movies I just mentioned. I mean, I'm sure there are others. I'd probably say either Guardians or Barbie. Guardians because I didn't expect Marvel
Barbie.
to.
Oh, really? Barbie. Oh, okay.
I might have to go with Barbie just because of the name Barbie, right? Like you think
You're
of
digging
Barbie.
and touch with its sensitive side.
Yeah, I did
So
not
you
expect
thinking-
this from you, honestly.
you thinking
Like,
Barbie, you're like-
good. That's good.
You're thinking Barbie,
Good
you're thinking
choice.
like it's a girl, it's a chick flick, blah blah blah. And I only went to see it because of you guys' recommendation. I know you guys said you've
Mhm.
seen it, and I surprisingly enjoyed it. It was like a
Yeah.
social commentary, you know. It wasn't kiddie at all. Like it was actually I could draw inferences in my
It was
own
a
life.
deep movie.
It was. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that'll be my pick. Maybe
Very
Frank's
cool.
choice will sway me. I don't know. What's your choice,
I
Frank?
think you already know what my choice is. Spider-Verse. Like
Yeah.
by far.
Okay, yeah.
like
Spider-Verse is
Same
definitely
here.
great.
I really like Godzilla -1.
I like
But
Godzilla
yeah,
minus-
Spider-Verse
I
was
like- I loved American Fiction. American Fiction to me was the second best movie of last year.
Oh, I didn't see that. That was good though.
You gotta see it.
I gotta see that,
it.
yeah.
It's so good.
Also want to see Book of Clarence, but I never saw that either.
I actually didn't see that. But like Spider-Verse to me was a work of art. Full stop. Like just masterpiece. Just like I was
Like
watching it
storytelling.
earlier today. and, like, man, this movie is still fucking good. Like storytelling, animation, music, dialogue, like everything.
10
Just
that all through.
nuances, like just 10 out of 10. Like by far. It's not even
Yeah.
close.
I don't know.
And you had some
love
bangers this year.
I love the Cross the
Some
Spider-Verse. It
bangers.
just
Barbie, Oppenheimer,
had-
Mission Impossible, but
we had seen something kind of. So do you don't think Guardians? Well, okay, so let's do top three. Just
Nah.
top three. The Guardians doesn't rank.
You're
You think it's
killing
top
me.
two?
nah.
I would
Nah.
put Guardians up there just for a surprise
Guardians is
because
really good.
Marvel had been down for so long, and for them to come out with Guardians 3 and it actually felt like old Marvel. It took you back to how you felt, around Civil War days and Winter Soldier days. Like it tied into what had came before. The story was meaningful.
With what?
You cared about the characters,
With Guardians?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, yeah. Like I would say I was surprised by it. Into the Spider-Verse, I wasn't really surprised. I was blown away. I'll say I was blown away because it was an awesome movie. And like you said, everything y'all said, the animation, everything. The story was great. Blown away. Yeah, I guess I was blown away. I wasn't surprised though. I think the only thing I was surprised about Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse is when he got away from all those Spider-Men. And we talked about that in our review.
That was dope.
I don't believe that Miles Morales could evade a building full of Spider-Men. Okay, I think the only reason he evaded them is because it was his movie. They're just as good as he is. So if he can evade them, they can catch
He
him.
better.
No,
Man, how is he better?
Again, it's not about him being better. It's about him.
He's not
being
Peter Parker.
He's not a variation of Peter Parker. They all are variations of Peter Parker. You notice the way they concentrated in the movie of the anomaly characters: Gwen Stacy,
Yeah.
Miguel O'Hara, Miles Morales,
Obi.
Jessica Drew. right? Like all not variations of Peter, whereas everyone else was variations of Peter Parker. Miles is different from them. So he's not necessarily, I don't know if he would be better or worse, but he's different. And the fact that he was different is probably a catalyst for why he was able to get away from all of them. He thinks differently from a Peter Parker, right? He's more dynamic than Peter Parker. He has more powers than Peter Parker. So
he does have more powers.
Yeah, but
like you got to think about
he can turn invisible.
Spider-Man that were in that building. I don't feel like he could have outsmarted.
He was still ahead. He was still ahead. He didn't have to outsmart them. He just had to get away.
What about well, he kind of outsmarted them, right? He led them all away from the building, then doubled back and went to the building. You know, so it's like I don't know. I loved it though, man. That movie was. I can't wait for part 3. What about John Wick Chapter 4? Y'all wouldn't put that up there? That's not.
John Wick Chapter 4 is definitely top 5. That might crack top 3 for me. That was an amazing movie. Just
I
fucking.
think what was so amazing about that is like it was the 4th movie, and you were like, how could they kick this up a notch? How is this going to be better than the last 3? And they did it.
They were able to do it.
God damn! How'd they do that shit? You know,
to do it. Like they were 100% able to do it. Like fuck.
That was the one with the incendiary ammo, right? He had that incendiary scene with god,
the dragon fire rounds, the dragon breath rounds. Yes, dude. And the top down view. Like, yo, the isometric view. I was like, yo.
It's like, how did they pop themselves again? Even the fight at the end up the stairs, you were just like, okay, I don't know if this is going on too long or if this is one of the greatest fight scenes I've ever seen. Like, he just kept getting up. He kept getting up. You're like, how?
He kept going. He kept getting knocked back down the stairs.
Yeah, he just kept getting up. That movie was awesome.
He was so cool in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
He just oozes cool in that movie, man. He's so cool.
Did y'all like Dungeons and Dragons?
I did. That was fun.
Yeah, I was surprised. I watched it late, but I was surprised. I really liked it.
I heard it was good though, yeah.
Yeah. It was very fun. I wouldn't be like a great movie, but it was a lot of fun. I love movies like that, which is like really fun and engaging and not so deep, right? Like you just sit and enjoy. But yeah, top 3, I don't know, man. Like I would say Spider-Verse for sure, number 1. American Fiction is number 2. You guys got to see that movie. It's fucking amazing. There's one thing in that movie that they did that completely blew me away. I'm not going to say what it is, but yeah, there's one part in the movie where I was like, oh shit, I've never seen anything like this before ever. And I watch a lot of movies. So yeah.
Damn,
go see American Fiction. It's fucking just so good. So funny and real and serious. And it's a great movie. I don't know. Number 3. I don't know, man. I was really only thinking of Spider-Verse. Like that's like way up here for me. Yeah. So like I'm talking like best Spider-Man movie, best like probably one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. And like it's such a high bar. So
it's definitely one of the best animated movies ever.
Oh, what about Mission Impossible?
You know what? I didn't enjoy Mission Impossible that much.
Yeah.
But again, I want to be fair and wait for the second part to come out before passing a judgment, because it was a part 1. So, but I didn't enjoy it that much. I thought it was by the books. Mission Impossible didn't do anything special, and the marketing for it hurt it, because we kept seeing that same big stunt ad nauseum over and over and over and over again before the movie actually came out. So when it actually happens, you're just left like, okay, that's
already
it.
Seen it.
Yeah, we've seen it a million fucking times.
Yeah, I hate I don't like when they do like the biggest thing in the trailer. Like that's why I worry about Godzilla, the new Godzilla movie coming out. I'm like, stop showing me all these crazy scenes. Like don't show me this stuff now. Like I want surprise me.
See, I kind of don't mind it, because that first Godzilla, we didn't really. Like they showed little clips of Mecha Godzilla, and people had a thought that it could happen. But when he blasted out of that mountain, and you're like, holy shit, we're about to see Kong and Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Like, I still trust them. They can still surprise us a little bit. They're not showing us everything in the trailer. I don't think they're showing us
I
everything.
hope not. I hope not.
Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem came out in 2023. It was kind of a
good.
copy
That was good,
of
yeah.
the animation style was kind of into the Spider-Verse-ish, but
Spider-Verse,
you know,
yeah.
I liked it too. Yeah, I liked it too.
I liked it. Yeah, that was good.
Did you say your top movies, Juice? I can say my top three.
I
real
think
quick.
I think my top one was.
For 2023, I'll say it was Barbie. I'm probably gonna have to go with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then I'll say Across the Spider-Verse. Only because not that Across the Spider-Verse is worse than those movies, but we had kind of seen something. So I was just kind of shocked by Guardians and Barbie. I didn't expect them to be as good as they were, and I knew that Across the Spider-Verse was going to be as good as it was. Like, I mean, that movie was an experience.
So you're putting a lot of weight like the surprise factors. Like,
yeah, I was totally surprised by Barbie.
And that's a good feeling. Like that. It's a really good feeling when you watch a movie going with low expectations and come out like kind of blown away. Like that. Yeah, that's definitely a good feeling. Like I got that. Like
kind of how
definitely from Barbie. Marvels. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Marvels. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I rewatched it the other day. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Still a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part about that, I kept looking at Monica Rambeau. She kept distracting me every time she came on the screen. Though.
Yeah.
Well, Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
Damn.
Pretty, man.
But yeah, for me, I would say, well, I didn't watch a whole lot of movies. I saw a handful, but
all the
probably
main
say
ones.
like Spider-Verse, Godzilla, and Barbie. I like Godzilla just because Godzilla. You throw a kaiju, you throw Godzilla in that joint, I'm in. And that Godzilla was. That was I just love the way he looked in that joint. I could watch. I have like images, like I have like a screensaver of just his big eyes like bobbing out the water with his mouth open. That was crazy. Those big googly monster eyes, like that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably it for me.
Man, yeah, that was crazy, man. So what are some upcoming movies, man? I guess the next one is Dune.
Yeah, we got some news. Dune Part 2 is coming out. I was thinking on the Marvel front with them showing the trailer for Deadpool at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, what y'all think about that?
I don't know what to expect. I don't want slapsticky, stupid, but I know that's Deadpool. But
that is Deadpool.
I want a Marvel version of X-Men to come out. Like you keep showing me Professor X, you keep showing me you showed me Beast at the end of Marvels, right? Give me goddamn X-Men, you know? Come on, Disney, just give me an X-Men movie.
They're coming together. We got Beast and Wolverine so far. Professor X doesn't count. That was alternate reality.
Yep.
But they're coming together. We got Beast, Wolverine, and Binary, and right now, so it's coming together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of those things. Patient. No. Marvel's been literally up and down.
Actually, come out July 26th is the release date for Deadpool 3.
It's the only MCU movie we've got this year. So,
do you feel like they should recast? Do you feel like they should recast Wolverine by now? Is it time?
No.
Yes.
No.
Has Hugh Jackman run his course as Wolverine? I mean, it's been 22 years or whatever it's been. When did the first X-Men come out? 2000, 2001?
Look, man, he's too goddamn good looking.
He is good. He's Logan.
And he's too
too tall.
I feel like
he can't be Wolverine to be all debonair and be a beast at the same time.
I feel like the Logan movie was so good. He should have just let that been his swan song. It's almost like Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man. It's like you rode off into the sunset there, bro. I don't think you should have rehashed your character. But when they come with a big ass check, Hugh Jackman's probably like, yeah, I'll come back. Yeah, sure.
They're probably paying him like close to $100 million or some shit to come back.
Dropped a big ass check on his lap. I was like, I'll come back.
Yeah, I'll come back. Yeah, I'm coming back for that kind of money. I'm coming back.
I wouldn't
But
mind
yeah,
if they reprised the role of Logan by now, though. Like, it's been enough. We've had how many Hugh Jackman movies with him being Wolverine? This is at least 8, right? Let's see, all 3:
Yeah.
X1, X2,
well, the
X3.
kind of the X-Men movies, yeah.
Um,
Origins, the
yep.
Wolverine.
Even though I like
Origins was
Origins,
great.
I like the first one. You
It
know,
was
Days of
good.
Future
Yeah, I love.
Past.
yeah, I like that movie. I don't know why that movie got so much hate. You know,
It got
X-Men
hate.
Origins Wolverine.
I didn't
Like,
know.
yeah, a lot of people
Yes,
hated that. They didn't
yeah,
like it.
absolutely it did.
Really?
Absolutely it did.
I guess
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a little upset at like knowing that was Deadpool at the end. I got upset, but like everything else is really good.
Yeah, Deadpool. Yeah, because they covered his mouth, and it's like we know that's not
Yeah.
Deadpool. You know,
No,
like
fun
Deadpool
fact:
talks a
the
lot.
guy. So the guy that played the stunt double for Deadpool, the guy that was doing all the cool shit at the end in Origins,
Mhm.
same guy in John Wick 4, the guy that was wearing the fat suit when they were playing cards.
Oh shit,
That's the guy, same actor. So
that's crazy. That dude,
yeah,
man, like I didn't get that
acting.
part of John Wick 4. I was like, what the hell is happening? Who is this big fat guy that he's fighting in the rain in the middle of this club? Who is this? You know, that part kind of came out of nowhere. But yeah, Kingdom of the
But yeah,
Planet of the Apes is coming out later on in the year.
I'm interested.
Definitely going to see that, bro. I gotta see.
I have I've never been interested in the Planet of the Apes movies. I don't know why. It's just it's something that's
Even
never
the
really
new, the Origins,
Yeah.
Rise.
like I've never.
No.
I watched the first 2 of those, and I was like, okay.
Those are the best
Yeah,
ones.
I'll admit the third one wasn't that great. Because what was the first one? Rise of the Planet of the Apes, or
That was
where Caesar and them
that
actually
was
broke
my
out?
best. That was the best one.
That probably was one of the best ones. Yeah. I forget the actor's name who was Caesar's owner at the end, and then
Franco?
I forget. Yeah, he never came back. Was he in part 2? I can't even remember. I will say the third one wasn't as good because they had who was the guy who played White Man Can't Jump? I can't think of this dude's name.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, was the main
Yeah.
bad guy in the third one, and you were like, what? He just kind of didn't fit the role for me a little bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird
Same
because
here.
all I saw was Woody Harrelson every time he talked.
Every time, I'd be tired of Woody Harrelson. Goddamn it.
Yeah, it's like he's Woody
Could he
Harrelson.
just be Woody Harrelson? Just Woody Harrelson in all of the places.
Yeah. But I'm still interested. I want to see. There's not a long list of movies that's coming out this year.
That's Carnage. That's Carnage.
Right. I
Yeah,
totally forgot
I'm
about
sure
that.
it was. I didn't watch it. I actually didn't watch it. I heard it was bad.
Yeah, the both of those movies fucking suck. But
What else did we see? The Venom movies. The first one wasn't terrible, but the second one, like they did have a good tease at the end of the second one. I don't know if you want me to spoil it for you, dude. Frank, you saw the second one, right?
I'll watch it eventually, but I don't really care.
So like Venom comes out and like there's a Spider-Man image on the screen and he like licks the screen, That was kind of cool. That was kind of dope, But that was at the end of the Venom movie, right? Wasn't that the post-credit scene or something?
See, that doesn't make no sense. Why the fuck would he know who Spider-Man is?
No,
anyway,
they were trying to tie the two universes together.
That was at the end of the second movie.
Okay, yeah.
Second movie. And then that's why the No Way Home tease worked.
Right.
Because when Peter Parker or when Mysterio told everyone that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, Venom also knew because it was on the news when he was watching it.
Okay.
So that part was kind of cool. Venom. It sucks when
but he didn't meet him though.
Didn't meet him yet.
So why would he care? Why would he be looking at a Spider-Man picture?
I think that was just fan.
Why
would you
have a Venom movie? Why would you have a Venom movie without Spider-Man first? I don't know.
And plus, the people who made the movie, they knew that the fans were going to jump at that part.
Speaking of which, have you guys seen?
I was just about to bring it up.
The fucking horribleness, the horrible reviews.
I know exactly. Yep.
That is Madam Web.
I haven't seen the reviews, but I saw the trailers, and that was enough.
I want to go see this movie because everyone is shitting on it so hard. It's like the worst movie ever.
It hurts my heart.
I'm like, what? Like everyone is shitting on it so fucking hard. I'm just like, I gotta see it because there's no way. but
it doesn't
apparently
make
it's not bad.
Especially with
I
the
hope they're
character.
I hope they're not shitting on it because they're women. Like I know they like doing that too.
No. They're
Because it
actually shitting
looks
on it,
bad.
right?
It looks really bad. Just
They're
that
actually
should make no
it's
sense.
bad. They're actually
Okay.
shitting on it for like legitimate reasons, like the
Okay.
dialogue and the writing and the characters
Yeah.
and the acting. Like it's not about
Yeah.
them being women. It's nothing to do with it. It's
I got all
literally
that from the trailer.
the whole package, like the whole
Yo,
like everything.
you know what else? Know what else is giving me that same vibe? Goddamn Craven. Like, what the fuck are they doing, bro? Like, what are y'all doing? You're wasting money. You can be feeding homeless people with this money. You might as well. Cause that shit looks terrible.
You know why they're making these fucking like cannon fodder, these filler movies, right? Because they had to keep the license for Spider-Man. So they had to make these movies. It's in the budget. They contractually they have to make these movies, whether they're good or shit or whatever, but they have to make these movies in order to keep the license for Spider-Man. So therefore he might be more valuable if the MCU decides to pick him back up again. But right now, Spider-Man belongs to Sony again, right? They lent him out. They did No Way Home. It's over. Now he's back with Sony. So if they want to keep the license for Spider-Man, which is very profitable for them, they have to keep making movies, despite the fact that like they have to make movies like Venom and Morbius and Madam Web and Craven and whatever fucking Sinister Six spinoff that they want to fucking do in the near future.
But
that's what they're aiming for in this
movies. That's why they're making these shitty movies. They have to keep that license.
It's embarrassing for them though.
Man, it's fucking valuable.
Because like after No Way Home and after the video games, there's a certain bar you have to meet with any Spider-Man character, right? Like you can't just come out with these shit movies.
Sony. Unfortunately, but fortunately, they have the Spider-Verse movies that's their tentpole right now.
You're right.
Okay.
So like that, but that's also a part of it. They have to. The Spider-Verse movies are part of that contract. They have to fucking keep making Spider. It's like they have to make one a.
Oh, I just lost sound. Y'all hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, he definitely cut out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that it's a part of it though. Like they have to make like Spider-Verse movies are a part of it. They have to make those movies in order to keep the license going. They have to make like one a year, it seems. And then
and you're right though. The Spider-Verse movies are definitely their claim to fame because those are easily the best projects they've done with Spider-Man character outside of the early Tobey Maguire and Garfield movies, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Those Spider-Verse movies are definitely their tentpole because without those, we're screaming, we're begging them to give Marvel
give them back.
Give them back.
Just give them up. Please give them back. Like just give it up.
But yeah.
Did
you hear that they had cast characters for live action Miles and Gwen?
No. What?
I saw it. It might not be true. I saw it pop in my feed. I glanced it and I didn't buy it at first. So
who did they cast?
No, nobody I knew. That's the thing. Like I didn't recognize the person. It was some black guy, some black kid. I don't know, but which is a good start. But
my question would be, who's producing these movies? Is it going to be Sony movies?
Again, it was just a glance. I didn't click on it because I was like, that's bait.
I don't trust Sony outside of their animated projects right now. I don't like any. Even from the first trailer of Madam Web, I wasn't interested. I was like, this movie looks like it's going to be shit. I mean, it's kind of intrigued.
I don't really follow. Obviously. If they did Spider-Woman, which I think they were trying to do, I don't really know shit about Madam Web, so she's super obscure to begin with. Like,
but I remember
very obscure to begin with.
I remember reading her.
Vaguely.
Madam Web was around when it, like there's a lot already going into that movie that's just wrong. right? Like the history with Madam Web and the way they're using Ezekiel, the Terminator Spider-Man that they have in the fucking movie. Like the way they're using him, it's like it's all fucked right now.
It looked like Jessica Jones to me for some
Madam Web's
reason.
been around, kind of, but yeah, they're just it's all wrong, like what they're doing, and then on top of that, the movie fucking, like you can tell that the movie is just a piece of shit going into it. So it's just one of those things that it might bode well for the movie. Like people want to see it because they're hearing it's so bad that it's like not possible that everyone can be right. So people want to go see it for themselves. They're garnering it more money, more publicity, and whatnot. But like,
It
just seems like it's just off.
Yeah.
But and then but
Morbius was like, oh yeah. All right, yeah. So, what do y'all think about? Did you see the cast?
But yo, why do you think they keep remaking movies? Why is that a thing in Hollywood to remake old movies now? Like, why are there no more original ideas? You know, they're coming out with another Twister movie. You remember Twister with Helen Hunt? And
why? That's so
this one is called Twisters.
It's just a tornado movie.
Called Twisters.
Oh my god! Is it
Twisters.
What? Because there's more than one.
Standalone sequel to the 1999 film. I'm like, why? Why you want to?
Wasn't the original just a tornado?
Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. It was kind of a classic, right?
It was a classic. It was fun because they had the balls.
It was.
Huh?
Yeah.
It was several. It was
several. They got the same machine. They got the same machine in the new movie. The one with the ball, Lucy, or was it Dorothy? The one
Lucy. Oh, Dorothy. Yeah, Dorothy. Yeah, Dorothy.
They got the same machine. That's how we knew it was a sequel. I saw the trailer for during the Super Bowl. I was like, man, come on. Like, some movies.
I thought that was a good idea, though. That was a cool little idea.
Isn't there another? There's another Ghostbuster movie coming out later on this year, right? Didn't I see that? Let me scroll a little bit. Yeah, it's like, why? Why are we recreating these classics? I don't get it.
I'm okay with that, though.
Alone.
Because it's what works. Because it's what's working, and it's what's been working for the past 12 years now.
Why don't they come out with any original movies anymore, Frank? Why are they just rehashing old classic movies?
Original movie.
Like a movie like
I think you just answered it. Like, it's because
you feel like
Hollywood doesn't like taking risks.
Wonka's backstory. So that should be a good movie, but it's just a rehash of an old movie. Like, if you're not going to top the Gene Wilder Wonka, don't even attempt it, you know?
Original IPs don't make money. They don't make money. They're too risky. They don't want to. They don't want to. It's remember. At the end of the day, it's still always about the money, right? Like, so you don't want to put. Let's just say $100 million into a movie that may or may not make its budget back because it's something original, and you think you have the most creative idea.
It's
like,
a risk.
You think that's the most creative idea, so it's a huge risk, because even if the movie makes like 99 million, you're still not counting marketing costs. You're still not counting distribution costs, right? And you're still not counting what the cast and crew get paid, right? That's just money lost. So the movie costs 100 million to make. Most of that goes towards the cast. Some of it goes towards the crew, and then you have a separate budget for marketing. So you're really putting like 200 million into this $100 million movie, and if you make 99 million, you failed.
It's ultimately the dead end result of capitalism. It's just trying to make more money with less. So they don't want to take risks on making new things, just like Frank said, just like he explained. They just want to do what people are already familiar with and what they can just quickly grab your attention with and come check it out, right? Because you know who this is. We don't have to reestablish anything, you know? And it's like, and here, capitalism kills creativity for that reason and that reason alone. Because all they're looking at is is the pocketbook. That's all they're looking at. They're looking at the bank account. That's why the DC
Quality.
movies did so bad, right? Because they give up. Yeah, they give up all of the things that you have to take risks to be creative with in order to make more money with something that's well established, right? Walking into footprints already set. But it's like, so they'll remake another Peter Pan. I saw there was a Peter Pan that came out, something Windy and Peter Pan in 2023. Nobody fucking heard about that shit, but they made the movie.
Hey, he
shit
ain't
about
topping
it.
He ain't topping the Robin Williams. He ain't topping Hook.
Nope,
I
he
don't
ain't
wanna see
topping
that
Hook.
shit, you know,
Nope.
Hook is a classic, man.
Right. But
That's one
like,
of my
yeah,
top
man, it's
classics.
just
Also based on pattern. It's all also based on pattern, right? Because like the Marvel movies are a big example. The Marvel movies have been a benchmark for other movies to imitate them, copy them, right? Like Marvel movies like had imitators such as the DCEU. They tried to have Universal tried to have that monsters universe, right, with the Mummy and Frankenstein and Jekyll and Hyde and all of these other movies. You also have like G.I. Joe and Transformers, right? At the end of Rise of the Beasts, right? They had that crossover with like, oh shit, that dude was a part of G.I. Joe this whole time.
Really?
And it's like they're gonna fucking have a Hasbro crossover. Oh shit, I don't know if you saw it, but yeah.
That actually does sound pretty cool.
I stopped watching Transformers movies.
It was almost impossible to follow the movements on a Transformers movie. It's like I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of CGI that's a one given scene with the Transformers. Like I can't follow what's happening, Yeah. It's like overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I never thought about it, but that is literally how I feel about that. There's a lot going on here.
Marvel has set this standard. Yeah, like Marvel has set the standard though. Like, right, Marvel is like, this is what works. And so everyone's trying to imitate because guess what? Marvel is still the most profitable studio ever. And of course, people want some of that paper, right? People want some of that cash, whether it's through imitation or through joining the machine, joining the beast, right? And it's like, that's what works. Right now, it's not about something original that is super risky, and you'll probably lose money in making this super risky thing and hoping it becomes a cult classic later on so that maybe you can recoup your money in digital and physical sales after the fact. But what really sees the most profit is in the theater, and what works in the theater is these action blockbusters with a Marvel movie formula or a Marvel movie or the Marvel movie criteria of making a bigger universe out of a property that you already have that's kind of established. So that's kind of
everything is verses now. There's a whole bunch of verses.
Just sucks though, because you want to see, and I hate the fact, you brought up the DCU. I hate that they tried to follow Marvel because there was a time there where they could have became their own thing. They could have still had the superhero in tights thing that was the rage then, but they had a chance to separate themselves from Marvel. They could have been a little more dark and gritty, a little more adult, had a chance, and they fucked it up. With the whole Justice League and Reach. I think that's where they kind of really fell apart. I know that stuff happened with Zack Snyder's daughter, and that couldn't have been foreseen, but I think where everything really fell apart was around the Justice League for them. Because at least up to that point, they had a clear vision. Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, this is the direction we're going, and after that, man, they just never were on par,
I think they're just chasing they're worried too much about what's gonna make money and what's not. It's just
image and all that.
I don't know.
It was straight up like ever since the first Avengers, like DC was on suicide watch. Right from that point on, because they were oh shit,
they were rolling their mouth.
The Avengers made like a record-breaking weekend. Like because Avengers made it was a record-breaking weekend, right? Like the biggest opening weekend ever in history, and it's like, oh shit, we got to do something. What do we have? Green Lantern? We got to do something. So we have Man of Steel.
Green Lantern. No, I didn't think that movie was terrible.
I didn't think it was terrible either, actually.
Yeah,
but it wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't great.
It wasn't good.
Great, no.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. But like, it's one of those things where
if they brought out a Jon Stewart, though, that shit would be great.
Like, Man of Steel was already in development, right? So it came out the year after Avengers, and Man of Steel was already in development, and you could tell that movie had a lot of quality put into it. But because of Marvel and their fucking machine rolling on and on and on, and it's like they were like, we need to do something. So they fucking cobbled together BVS and then had no fucking narrative or storyline for the rest of the Justice League and decided to go straight to a Justice League movie instead of following Marvel's formula and actually having an origin story for each person before forming a fucking team. You know, like they absolutely rushed things after Man of Steel. They rushed everything from that point on, and they also had it hinge on the differences that Zack Snyder. They hinged everything on Zack Snyder. They wanted Zack Snyder to be the guy, like the Kevin Feige of DC, but at the same time, Kevin Feige's not directing anything. Kevin Feige's just advising. They wanted Zack Snyder to be like both guys, right? Like and I think that might have made his product suffer, at least as far as BVS on was concerned. I think that might have made his product suffer. But you know, we've got what we've got now. It's the reality we live in now.
Me and Juice reviewed BVS when it first came out, and I remember I was at odds with Juice because Juice was under the impression that it wasn't that bad, and I hated it at first.
No, I still hold that position. Still hold that position. Of
all the hype that was around that movie, I felt let down at the end of it when I walked the theater. But I'm with you now, Juice. In hindsight, it wasn't that bad. And I didn't realize Zack Snyder's
we saw vision. Flash in theater. It wasn't that bad. Flash was. And
I didn't fully understand Zack Snyder's vision for the DCEU until his Justice League came out on Max. And I was like, okay. Zack Snyder would have probably been the best one to helm this whole thing. But, he had the unfortunate incident with his daughter, and no one could have foresaw that, right? So everything just derailed. So it sucks. But, hey, man, you remember that first weekend?
Even still, he could have just told him. He could have just told him, like, here's what I was about to do, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they did, man. That doesn't make no goddamn sense.
It's something for the creative mind to be involved in the process. And I think they would have lost something regardless whether he was there or not.
They still would have made sense.
In the building. Yeah, and then they just with all the reshoots. But yo, man, because Frank brought up the Avengers. Remember that first weekend when you went to see the Avengers, man? And like, remember that feeling you had when you left the theaters, bro? Like, this shit was one of the greatest things I've ever seen on a screen, bro. I'm talking about the like. And I was hyped. I was like, I didn't know how they were gonna pull it off. I don't think we saw a superhero movie that big since the first X-Men. The first X-Men, I was like, how are they gonna do this? I remember thinking, like, how are they gonna put that on screen? Like Wolverine and Cyclops and Storm, all these good people on screen. And I love it.
And they did what they did.
Yeah,
it was good. Cool. Yeah, except for that one line. Same thing everything else does. But
that very first movie was just like, goddamn. Yeah, Frank just messaged say he's on a delay, so he's going to try to log back in. But yeah, man.
But yo, did you see? Here, let me pull up the cast for what you call it? Fantastic Four. I don't know if you know these niggas, but these Canadians.
I know Pedro Pascal is playing the Mr. Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how he's going to be as a Reed Richards, because every time I see Pedro, I think of like the guy from Game of Thrones, or he just has that accent. And I'm like, I didn't know Reed Richards had an accent. I thought he was a. Is this
He doesn't
color
always have
washing?
an
Are they
accent. He didn't
blackwashing
have
the
an
character
accent
of
in
Reed Richards?
He didn't have an
Nah.
accent in what you call it?
Last of Us.
Last of Us. Yeah,
He
he's
kind
an
of had, but it was
actor.
still kind of there.
He is an
So-
actor.
Is
So
this
I'm-
his
officially
accent's away.
blackwashing?
No, he's not black.
He's not black.
Well, he's melanated though,
He's
he's
Chilean. He's
melanated.
Chilean. He's from Chile.
because I understood Reed Richards to
chill
be a
watch.
Caucasian man. You know,
Yeah.
He could be Jewish.
So I think
It's a white dude.
Hey,
So
D,
I
D
think-
gonna get a shadow ban over here, Frank. Man, you can't say that word, man.
You can say that word.
We-
As long as you don't
Flag.
say anything crazy.
we said way worse like the first 35 minutes of this episode.
Niggas and all this.
So
It'll start.
So as far as Pedro Pascal is concerned, to be honest with you, I don't think he can pull it off. I don't think he's right for this role.
Really?
Yeah, he's a really good actor, and I'm sure he's going to do a good job. But I don't think no matter how good of an actor you are, there are just roles that you're just not right for. And I feel like he's just not right for this. I mean, he's the fucking backup. It wasn't supposed to be him. It was supposed to be Adam Driver, right? But
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Now that I think about it, I don't know how I would have felt about that. I don't see him.
Adam
as
Driver
Reed
turned
Richards.
it. Adam Driver turned it down.
Really?
Yeah, Margot Robbie also turned down Sue Storm. It was supposed to be
Oh,
Adam
thank
Driver
Jesus.
and Margot Robbie.
I was just thinking that because I don't know about this lady Vanessa Kirby. I'm looking at her. I'm like, I don't know how she's going to be a Sue.
I think
don't
she's.
know
I
about
think.
Josie
I think.
Quinn.
I think she's gonna be. I think she's gonna be really good as Sue. Because to
Really?
be honest, there's not much to Sue. There really isn't.
Yeah,
She's
Sue's
very
pretty
ordinary.
vanilla. But here,
Very
isn't
ordinary.
Reed
Who was the
Richards
one-
essentially pretty vanilla? He's a pretty vanilla character. Like he's
But
not
But he's a
unless you
genius.
get like the he's a genius, but so's Tony
He's-
Stark. It's just like
no, but
he's
he's
like-
supposed to be. He's supposed to be the smart. He's supposed to be the smartest man in the world. Like
Reed
I don't
Richards
think.
is
I don't
that
think.
smart.
that's
I don't
always
think-
like
I don't think Pedro Pascal can pull that off. I just don't. Like the
I think
closest.
they might be able. They might be able to dress him up to pull off the look because he's kind of older and grizzled. I think they can put
Yeah,
the little
but that's
grease
the
there.
look. That's the look. That's fine. I'm talking about the acting, right? Like I don't think he can pull off like super genius, right? Like it's to me, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where again, no matter how good of an actor you are, there are roles that you're right for, and there are roles that you're just not right for. And I feel like he's just not right for this one. Like the closest thing we've
Okay.
had of him playing a super genius was Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 84. And that movie was all bad,
I saw
right?
that movie one
including
time.
him in
oh
it.
shit.
Including him
I
in it.
forgot he was in that jump. I erased that from my memory.
He
bank.
was the villain.
I forgot he was in that jump.
He was the
Holy
villain in Wonder Woman 8. Well, Cheetah was the villain too, but like he was the big villain in Wonder Woman 84.
Rita was the only good part about that movie. I was a little intrigued by her character, but yeah, other than that movie. was
Cheetah's
terrible.
actually a pretty interesting character. I don't know what they're doing, man.
I don't know what they did with her there. That was
It was actually every time she was on screen, you're like, okay, he perked up a little bit.
But
Why don't they just use the Reed Richards from Doctor Strange? I thought that guy played
so
the person. I could buy him being a genius.
So Krasinski is in the movie.
Yeah.
He's in this Fantastic
True.
Four movie. He's just not
Yeah.
a part of the main four here. He's not a part of the main. He's not a part of the main four. He's still in the movie. I'm not sure if it's as Reed Richards, maybe the alternate version of him or a future version of him. Because remember, this movie takes place in the 1960s. It takes place.
No, I didn't know that.
It takes place in 1963.
Why?
So they're taking it back. So this could change the chronology of the MCU, right? But this is taking place in the 60s. So I will also
I
say
guess
though,
in that case, people won't be asking where they were during Endgame and Infinity War and all that. You know,
right?
This
Because
happened before then.
well, I mean, you never know. It could be like maybe the accident that made them have powers
Launched
Took them
them
away
into
from
a
Earth.
time.
it took them away from Earth, or it took them away from our. From
And they got interstellared.
Yeah, maybe it
Yeah.
took them away from Earth 1999-99, right?
Mhm.
Like maybe it took them away from that. Maybe it put them in what we know as 616, and they've been existing in 616. And it's like one of those. There's a lot of unknowns that could have literally got them taken away so that they couldn't participate in the Battle of New York and Endgame and Infinity War, the events of Infinity War and shit like that, the Infinity Saga and shit like that. Maybe that was just after their time. So I'm interested to see where they could take that story. And I will also say the best casting here is Eben Moss Backrack as Ben. That's fucking
Who is
perfect.
he? Where's he from?
Do you ever watch The Bear?
He looks familiar.
No. The
You never
Bear?
watched The Bear, yeah, the TV show The Bear. Okay, so
No.
on The Bear, he plays a character called Richie. They call him Cousin Richie. And The Bear is a very intense show. A lot of like really fast, whip sharp dialogue, and everything is very frenetic and it's very energetic. And it's like the show is designed to stress you out when you're watching it. It's designed to give you anxiety when you're watching it, just because of how fast everything is moving and how fast everyone is talking and how
What's it
fast
on?
paced. It's on FX, Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Hulu? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he plays Cousin Richie in the show. The personality that he has on the show is very antagonistic to the main character, who they call him cousin, but they're actually like really good friends. He's a really good friend of the family that started the restaurant, which is called The Bear. His personality in the show, fucking perfect for the thing. Fucking perfect. Yes. They fucking like
trash talking, like like always cracking.
Like just
talking shit.
Not only talking shit, but getting under your skin. Like getting under your skin, like not like Spider-Man getting under your skin, but like really fucking digging deep and like really fucking like knowing how to fucking make you annoyed with him. Like Ben, that's how Ben was. He was a really kind-hearted individual, but super just like oh, you get on my fucking nerves, like all the time. Like that's how he pushes Reed.
But for the dynamic though to really work, Johnny Storm got to be there with him.
Yeah. So Joseph Quinn,
I don't know who this guy is.
I like him. Do you ever watch? Do you see the latest season of Stranger Things?
No, I didn't watch the last season.
Okay.
I didn't see the last two. Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember, but he was the guy that was making like waves because of the finale of that season, where he plays like Master of Puppets, in the negative world. I forget what it's called, but like
the upside down.
The upside down in order to like hold the monsters back, while the kids are trying to develop like a way to stop the monsters. I'm not going to say anymore, but like,
I don't know.
He throughout that season, he was actually a really good character, and a lot of people kind of like fell in love with him as the character. So I think he could do a really good job as Johnny Storm. I'm just not as sure of him as I am absolutely sure of Eben Moss Backrack as Ben. Like that guy's perfect casting, and I would say Vanessa Kirby is next. Then Joseph Quinn will give him a shot. I think Pedro Pascal is the worst cast person here, and I hate to say that because he's a really good actor.
Pascal is definitely the star power of this cast. I think he's going to be the one to draw.
Yeah,
I think he's had the most exposure.
But I think that's obvious. I think that's obvious, and I don't think that's a really smart move.
I thought they're gonna have Adam Driver as Doom, who I think would have been a really good Doom.
That could have been cool, but they originally cast him as Reed, and then he turned it down.
Is that who the main villain is going to be? As Doom?
It has to be.
Eventually, at some point. Either that or the Mole Man.
I didn't necessarily hate the other Fantastic Four movies. I didn't hate them. I like, especially Rise of the Silver Surfer. It was kind of cheesy, yeah, but I didn't hate it. And
at the time, what do we have to compare it to? It was fine.
And they were directed.
Oh, Jessica Alba, yeah, back in the day.
They were also directed by a black man, so that's something.
Yeah, I didn't hate them. I thought they were kind of action filled. Like I remember seeing them in the movies. I was like, okay, it wasn't.
I
wasn't
thought Chris.
horrible.
I thought Chris Evans at the time was a really great Human Torch. Like he
Yeah,
I
me
did
too.
too. Yeah,
I thought he really fit Human
pulled
Torch.
that
Yeah.
off. Yeah, he pulled that off.
it brought like a
You know,
level of
man,
like
I forgot that
flamboyance.
Krasinski was Reed Richards, but he was definitely. I thought that was established. So yeah, I totally forgot
Nah,
about that.
it
So
was
like
all fan casting, and then it
that was
eventually
cool.
kind of got into the zeitgeist where like Sam Raimi actually cast him as Reed, but in an alternate reality, also
Verse.
universe, and
What
then
happened to
they
him? Did he
killed
get
him.
his head blown off in that, or that was the other guy? That was the guy Bolt.
Nah,
Whatever his
Black
name
Bolt
was.
got his head blown off.
Oh no, he got his head blown
That
smooth
was
off his
stupid.
shoulders, bro. Smooth
Yeah,
off.
nah, he got spaghetti. Reed Richards got spaghetti. he got stretched so far and then torn to pieces, basically.
Damn. Yo,
Fucking
Wanda was
amateur,
scary, man.
fucking amateurs.
Yeah, I
But
told you I had to give y'all credit because I was hating on WandaVision, and WandaVision is probably one of the better shows I watched on my Disney Plus.
Mhm.
She was
Yeah.
scary. She was really intimidating. I'm like, man, they could have easily made a 3-movie, arc off of this with her and Doctor Strange. Just, one movie is Wanda's journey, the next movie is Doctor Strange's journey, then the third movie is when they kind of come together to resolve whatever issue. They missed the ball on that. When does Guardians of the Galaxy? When does Fantastic Four come out? Do we know?
July 2025.
Okay, yeah, so until next year.
We gotta wait a whole year.
There's also a new Mad Max movie coming out, man.
Oh yeah, the Furiosa movie.
Check it out, Frank.
The Furiosa movie. I mean, yeah, I'll check.
Yeah,
I'll definitely check it out.
Did you see Mad Max, the first one?
When did that come out? Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
Mad Max. I think Mad Max is this year.
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
2024. Who's the main lead chick in there?
It's not Charlize Theron, but
I know Chris Hemsworth is in it. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. There you go. She's
She looks
everywhere now.
familiar, though.
She's everywhere. She's been in a lot of stuff.
And when I caught the trailer, Chris Hemsworth was in it, so I was like, okay, well, shit. I'm glad Hemsworth got work, and he's not like being typecast into like the superhero kind of role. Because Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah,
funny,
he's been in a couple things.
Yeah.
Extraction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad he's not being typecast, man. He's getting work outside of that. Yeah, that'd be cool. They're coming out with another Alien.
He had a couple
Alien
movies
Zombies.
on. I wish I had finished the last one. Alien Romulus. Yeah.
I'm kind of out on Alien after Prometheus. Like Prometheus was so cool and intriguing until that alien popped in. I was just like,
Nah, I love
man,
that
it's
shit,
just
man.
another alien movie.
That was.
It's just another
I
alien
love that
movie.
shit, dude.
Okay.
I was almost all the way in.
But it wasn't.
Prometheus until the end as well, but for different reasons. Like
Why didn't you like the ending?
Prometheus fell apart for me because they defied logic at the end with like the ship, with the girl running in a straight line and the ship was coming down and she could have just moved to the side and survived and created an
I hear it too,
universe. I'm cutting out again.
Okay. Doesn't mean.
Yeah,
Cutting out
I
again.
heard it too. It stopped.
Okay. Sorry, there was some buzzing in my headphones.
But yeah, Frank, I heard that before too, and I know what you mean. But I'm like, we have no idea how big this ship was. It was a little stupid that boulder kind of stopped the ship. I feel like it still should have crushed that boulder and crushed her. But just her running to the side doesn't mean she would have outran being smashed.
Yeah, like it feels like
That
a
ship
mile
was probably
wide.
huge,
Zigzagging ain't
yeah.
gonna help.
No, it's not about it's not about zigzagging. She should have obviously said, "Oh shit, there's this big ass ship coming in this
She did
direction.
run straight.
Let's start to take off in this direction or that direction," and then
Panic.
she would have made it out. And she would have made it out. But like, it's not just that though. That's just a bit of a nitpick. But like, it's not just that. But it's like, it's also seemed like the stuff with not with the android, but like the stuff with the perfect being and the
engineer
and forming the xenomorph, the engineer and forming the xenomorph, like that seemed very rushed at the conclusion, where it's like we had this big massive world and story building happening in the most of the movie, and it seemed like the last 5 minutes was stuff that they could have like they could have like started to give us a little more of that earlier in the movie, and then it just kind of just happens, and then the movie.
But there were
ends.
other monsters, like there were other problems they faced, which that's what I appreciated about it. Was like I like that it ended up being like, oh, this is tied to aliens. Wow, that's interesting. But it was a monster movie up to that point. It was a problem. Like they were dealing with like these spores and that goo shit. Right. And like
so the real monster that they were dealing with was like when David poisons the drink, and then that shit just started a sequence of events. So like I liked all of that. I liked all of that stuff. But I don't know, for me, like the logic that the logical leaps that they took just to end the movie just it was rushed to me. I wanted more from that. I wanted more explanation and exposition from that. But they just tried to just make it an action fest. And it seemed like the third act basically seemed very different from the rest of the movie that came before it. And it was just like, oh, okay, we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting more about the engineer. And then you see the xenomorph pop out and roll credits. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Like, I
love that shit.
I want to know more now. Like I want to know more now. But like, what's happening? Like, why did that happen so suddenly?
That's the part that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth personally. Is like when that xenomorph, like everything up to that point in the movie, I was intrigued. Like you said, Frank, they were doing the world building, and I thought it was kind of like a commentary or the actual story of us as human beings come from, right? And then when the xenomorph popped out, it was like, it's just another monster movie, just another alien movie. They weren't saying anything. This is going to be this point of the whole movie, so that this alien can pop out. And I was just like, oh man, we've seen Alien. I wanted to see more about the engineers. I was intrigued when David and the girl flew off in the ship to go to the planet. I'm like, okay, where are they going? I want to see more about this.
Did you see Did you see the sequel?
That shit was horrible. I hated that joint, man. I hated the sequel.
What? Are you serious? They showed how they made the xenomorphs, how David made it.
Yeah, but I didn't want it to be an alien movie. I wanted it to be like us, the engineers, and we're trying to figure out where
you're reducing the xenomorphs into like just a monster that exists all the time. Like the best monsters are created. Like that's kind of like the whole thing. It's like these things didn't come into existence by nature. These things were engineered to be monsters like this.
It like that's kind of what somebody I think it was Prometheus. They said that some character in the movie said that they created the xenomorphs to come back and wipe out Earth, right? Like, didn't they have the course for that ship set to go to Earth? And they just and it's like, why would they want to wipe us out? That's why I was intrigued by the engineers.
No, it was
why did y'all want to wipe us out?
Yeah, exactly. But so that was a whole other aspect. I didn't care about the alien. They hated it. They thought they failed. And they were like, well.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just intrigued. I didn't hate. I love Prometheus. And I think the one thing for Prometheus, it intrigued all of us. Like whether all of us have different thoughts about the movie, but we all loved it. The second one, what was it called? Covenant? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, Covenant.
What the hell happened?
Covenant for me was better than Prometheus.
You like Covenant better than Prometheus?
Yeah.
Hell no, bro.
Because I like the development, right? I liked seeing the phases. I liked that it still wasn't a xenomorph. Like not till later, not till even into that one, it wasn't a xenomorph. I like the process. I like seeing the monster being made. That's what I was into, right? Like I like seeing because remember there was those white little things, the fucking bishops and the fucking other thing they called them. Like and like I like how David like essentially being so goddamn evil. Fucking dissected the lady he came to the planet with.
Yeah,
like that shit was crazy. Like David, what's his name?
Why was David so evil? Why was he so evil? He was an android. Like
He was an AI.
This is why I'm worried about AI. This is exactly why I'm about it. Okay, because David was.
Remember, he was very close. He was starting like he had like he wasn't like the other AI. He had. there were limiters that weren't in his model that they installed later. We saw that with the second David that came on.
Yeah.
And he ended up murking that one because it just wasn't like, nah. That one was like, yeah, they updated because you were acting crazy.
This motherfucker's
like,
evil.
Yeah, this nigga was like doing shit, and like, so this dude essentially just made. Anyway, I don't know. It's a whole thing, but yeah, me and Claudia watched that. We watched both of them multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't.
I don't know.
Man, it just didn't live up to my expectations I had from Prometheus, and I just wish that it was more about the engineers. But it was still good. Still good though.
Right.
I mean, wasn't Prometheus also supposed to not be like? I remember Ridley Scott like specifically saying he did not want Prometheus, even though everybody knew it was, but he didn't design Prometheus to be a direct prequel to Aliens. Like he wanted it to be its own thing, to start its own thing, and then maybe eventually they get to the alien side of things. I remember him avidly denying that Prometheus was supposed to be a part of the Aliens universe, and maybe that's why the third act worked out the way it did, because it seemed very much like its own thing, and then maybe he got like some kind of corporate like pressure to tie it to Aliens just so it would put butts in seats. Like that's something.
But I think when I went in, I don't think it was advertised as being Aliens. Remember, nobody thought it was Aliens.
It wasn't.
I was like,
everyone knew.
Because I've heard that before too, and I had no idea there was going to be an alien.
I wouldn't say everyone knew. I would say everyone expected it to be.
I was completely caught off guard when that alien popped out. It was a surprising moment, which I like being surprised. Like, oh man, just another alien movie. That's all. I had no idea that alien.
But that wasn't all.
It wasn't, but that's what it came down to. That was the last scene that we saw, was an alien popping out, and it was like, oh, all this has been building up for this alien to pop out, which is going to be the next movie.
All aliens.
Be the alien. I don't know. I
do feel like they could have done more with the engineers.
I didn't know.
Like, I do want to know more about the engineers, which is why I'm like, I don't know what Romulus is going to be about, but I feel like I don't think they're going to continue the story for whatever reason. People
I don't think so
didn't like the last one, but like if they just, but here, Romulus, you know what Romulus is going to be? Romulus is going to be another alien movie.
Yeah.
Like, so
well,
there's the end of the adventure.
We just talked about how they rehash ideas and how there's no one willing to really take a risk. So yeah, I would bet it's going to be another alien movie, because that's a bankable franchise that people recognize, and it'll, like you said, it'll put butts in seats.
Yeah, it's going to be exactly what the Predator was. It's going to be that happened.
Y'all gonna make me watch Prometheus.
I mean, Prey was good.
Prey was
really
good. True.
Prey was really good. I can't wait to see what they do with that, because if there's a way,
I got the feeling it was a one shot.
No, definitely not. They already greenlit a sequel. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they absolutely greenlit a sequel. I think it might have already. Well, I think it might be shooting soon.
You know what I wanted them to do? And man, we were really talking about aliens, but like, you remember? You know what people hated? What people really didn't like was Alien vs Predator 2.
Requiem, that one.
Requiem. Yeah. No. Wait, that was the one. The one that was in the town, not the one that was in the ice. The first one I think was Requiem.
Oh, okay.
Where they were in the ice underneath the
Predator. That was the first one where they went to that hole underneath the
AVP and in the Arctic place.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Well, yeah, maybe Requiem was the one. Whichever one was in that town, that small town that they
I remember that being Requiem. Yeah.
Okay, maybe that. Yeah, I love that movie. That's probably my favorite of them, because the acting was like trash, but it's a monster movie. For me, it was a definitive monster alien survival movie. Yeah, like they're being chased and swarmed by unbeatable, unkillable monsters, and you have this one or couple. It essentially came down to one monster or that's fighting on your side. Like it was for me, it felt very video gamey. Because remember, the goal was like, all right, we got to get through this shit. We got to get to the fucking
It's to the end.
helipad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then they nuked the city. Like for me, it was a fun movie, but I know a lot of people hated that Joe, man. But
Yeah.
I feel like, do you remember the very end
Uh-huh.
where they like had they nuked the town, they survived, hop in the helicopter, crash, blah blah blah, and then they like presented them with like this like predator tool that they like and it looked like they were like putting together a task force at the end using like these alien weapons.
Yeah.
I wanted to see where that was going. I really wanted to see where that was going, man.
So I don't know if they're ever gonna do a movie like that again, because that was during the whole, Freddy versus Jason, RoboCop versus Terminator, Alien versus Predator, and I can't believe that Hollywood actually had the audacity to make a Freddy versus Jason in an AVP movie. I was just like, what? I'm like, you're actually listening.
I like terrible. I didn't hate it. I didn't
watch it.
That movie was so bad. It was fun, but it was fun. It was so
funny.
much fun.
It was funny.
It was so much fun. But I don't know. It's like, again, I think it depends on like the trends that are working at the time. They took a risk with making Freddy versus Jason, but I think the only reason they took the risk because there was so much demand for it. Right? Like it somehow entered the zeitgeist of random conversation, word of mouth. And so someone had the idea, like, let's make a Freddy versus Jason movie. And they decided to follow up with an AVP movie, and it gave it a sequel on top of that, which is crazy.
Shit, we have comments. Uh-oh.
That was probably the most surprising thing, was that they gave it a sequel. Not that I would have almost preferred them to come out with another monster versus monster.
If they were going down that path, they should have just done RoboCop versus Terminator.
What's the next one they did? Was Kong?
That would have been dope. That would have been dope. That would have been all in. Yeah, Godzilla versus King Kong. That's
Godzilla and King Kong. Yeah.
That was comment. So from Alien vs Predator Requiem to Godzilla and Kong, was there any other versus movies?
Technically Pacific Rim. Robots versus monsters.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was watching that scene the other day where you remember where they came in and the two fucking kaiju came out of nowhere. And remember the joint flying wings and space and shit.
Still to this day.
I was watching that shit on YouTube.
That shit gets me so hyped. Like whenever
that scene was
like
hard,
kaiju comes out, still to this day, man. I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, no. What are they gonna do now?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that movie took us all by surprise. Nobody knew that movie was gonna be that good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yo, let's talk about the hair thing.
Okay.
Man, like we got. Yo, we are 2 hours and 23 minutes in. I think we'll cover like 2.5 topics.
Yeah. So, do you wanna go ahead and do the hair thing?
Yeah. You got the premise, so hold on. Let me just throw this on up.
So while Kaimon's doing that, I guess I can start to not have dead air. But so the other day, not the other day, but so I like playing a lot of video games and watching a lot of movies and stuff. And I had noticed something that kind of came to my attention that seems to be something that's kind of like ingrained in Black culture now, but maybe for the right reasons, maybe for the wrong reasons, but we'll see. We can talk about it. But this hairstyle that y'all see is what's more affectionately known as the Killmonger hairstyle, right? With the braids hanging over the side of the head. It's a very attractive hairstyle. I don't mind it at all. I think it looks really cool. Killmonger, the character, or Michael B. Jordan was one of the first people to like rock this hairstyle in Black Panther. But the thing about this hairstyle is that I started noticing that it started to become a little more prevalent with a lot of other characters, a lot of other black characters and media, specifically video games, but you see it sometimes in like anime, TV shows, animated TV shows, I should say. But it's one of those things that like I started noticing like every single black character, it seems now has this hairstyle and they're wearing this hairstyle. And the reason why I look at it as that, yes, it's cool. It's a cool hairstyle, and yeah, it's cool for the black characters to have it. But if every single black character starts to have it, it starts to become less special, and then you start to ask questions about like, why is it that every black character has this hairstyle? You start looking in the background of things. You start looking a little deeper, and you realize that like a lot of these animators, developers are actually not people of color that are creating these hairstyles for these black characters. But this is starting to become more affectionately known as the de facto or default hairstyle for black characters in media. So my whole thing is like, could this be seen as problematic? Like, could this be seen as something that maybe, is pandering to us? Because we have other hairstyles that we can rock, right? Like there can be variety with black characters, but you're starting to see this in so much more. Like this picture right here is Miles Morales from Spider-Man 2. Like this is his hairstyle in Spider-Man 2. Now the character never had this hairstyle before this game. And again, while it's an attractive hairstyle, it's one of those things like now he has this hairstyle, but why? Like he could have been rocking his hair from Spider-Verse, or he could have been rocking his hair from the comics, which is just a buzz cut, like a Caesar.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like you start to see the same hairstyle on every single black character and not being developed, and these characters are not being developed by black people. It just begs the question, it's a matter of opinion and subjectivity, but like it begs the question, like what, like is this pandering to us, or is it not really that big of a deal? I personally think it is kind of pandering because it shows it's kind of like pigeonholing us and showing that our characters, or apparently the characters, all black characters, main black characters in media don't have any other original hairstyles, where it's like that's quite the opposite for black people. We have a huge variety of hairstyles that we can rock. But this is like now the cool default hairstyle given to all black characters across mediums. So I'm not gonna talk any more about it, but I just feel like my opinion is that it is kind of pandering to us. While it's cool, a cool hairstyle, I should say, I think it just shows a lack of variety and originality in how people see us and how we're portrayed. But it could just not be that big of a deal. But I don't know. What do y'all think?
I think this nigga's hair looks crazy. Like, I don't know what's happening here.
I don't know. That looks like a wig, man. Like it's just, just give him the bald hair, man.
Yeah, man. It looks like you got a single
don't mind
it's all bald underneath. Anyway, huh?
It does show a lack of variety. I've watched enough anime to know that like hairstyles are very important in the animation world, right? Like it's almost as important as how your face looks, your hair, So I didn't really even notice until you just put up all these images. I'm like, damn, there are a lot of people rocking this hairstyle. What is it like? Kind of dreads, but it's kind of buzzed on the side.
It's like a lock comb over.
Yeah, it's like a lock comb over with a fade.
Yeah,
on the other side.
Maybe it's the problem of maybe they don't know a lot of black people. Maybe they think that this is what they think is cool.
That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my point. It's like this is a cool hairstyle. I don't. It's a very attractive hairstyle. It's a cool hairstyle. But this is 2018 or no shit. The movie was filmed before 2018. The movie was filmed in 2017. Right. This is 7 years ago. But yet now it's 2024, and you're seeing this hairstyle more now than we did. I'm talking about more in mainstream media now. Like every dude was trying to rock that hairstyle. Every regular ass dude.
Like this is recent. This game
This is Eddie Gordo. This is Eddie Gordo in Tekken 8. Right? Like this is Eddie Gordo, right? Like Eddie Gordo had like a very different hairstyle and from when he debuted in Tekken 3.
Mm-hmm.
But like Eddie Gordo has this hairstyle now. You know, Miles Morales has this hairstyle now, and he never had this hairstyle in the comics, right? He never had this hairstyle in the Spider-Verse movies, but he has it in the game, in Spider-Man 2. You know, it's like, you know, we're seeing it like apparently gain popularity. This might be a jump the shark kind of thing, right? Like now we've seen like Eddie and Miles with it, so maybe now that it's time, it's over.
Yeah.
Right, like its time is up, but like it's still like I don't know. Like I look at it as like it is I think it's kind of pandering, but
my thing is like I guess so again I agree. Like pandering is probably I don't know, is pandering the right word though?
Maybe
like,
not, but it's something that
it's superficial, like, definitely.
It's what superficial? Yeah. It's maybe pandering is not the right word, but I do think there's something not quite right about portraying every black character that you see with this hairstyle.
But right? It's also like,
and it's technically not even in style now, right? Like the Sideshow Bob is in style now. Right?
Yeah,
like
you're right. Yeah, the Sideshow Bob, right? The Sideshow Bob is with the poof on top.
With the poof, right?
And then sometimes they'll like twist off the poofs. Yeah. My nephew has that.
Like that's in style now for black male hair. Right? Like this hairstyle's not even in style right now, but it's a nice hairstyle again. But like there's something not quite right about every single character having this kind of hairstyle.
I think it always comes down to like black hair has I think traditionally always been kind of difficult to grasp for people, and I don't mean literally grasp, but like difficult to like comprehend for non-black people who are obviously the ones making these games, right? So like they see something, they're like, oh, I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, before, for a long time, the thing that I understood was the afro. And that afro has been persistent in video games and nerd media for like ever.
Yeah.
Man. So like when they finally got something new like this, like I always think like the variations like of like black hair, and this we have a lot and we change it like so constantly that people not in the know, people don't hang out with black people, just don't see it, right? So like we went through unless it makes it through mainstream media. So like it's a good chance they could have had something like the high top Gumby, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If they'd have thrown something like that out here, the high top Gumby, you know what I'm saying? Or like the Gumby Fade or something, then it'd have been like a whole nother thing. We're like, yo, what y'all doing? We haven't done this job for like 30, 40 years or 30 years at this point.
Wasn't there a black character in a Final Fantasy that had cornrows? Was cornrows a thing?
Oh yeah, cornrows. Oh my god. Remember cornrows was like
that was
like
de facto
black
hair.
Status quo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like a long time, like your character, if you had a black character, he had to have cornrows.
Yeah, well, Jack's from he's probably one of the older video game black characters. What do you have, a fade? Jack's had
Jack's had the high top Gumby.
Okay, yeah. He didn't have an afro or anything.
Nah,
I think also afro. Like for anime, like it also might the dread style that we see on screen here might be a way for the hair to flow. Like you said, you kind of don't know what to do with black hair, and hair in animation is kind of important, right? Like there's a lot of dramatic moments in animation, right? So when you turn, your hair kind of flows with the, you know, the way that your head is going. So maybe this style is a way to show the flowiness of black hair, you know, and still fit within the anime style that they're going for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. I really didn't notice it. I know one thing. I'm not hating this hairstyle, but rock it. The Killmonger is definitely not for me. I don't know if I would. I would rather just grow my whole head out with dreads instead of grow it, shave off a lot of it, and then have it on the top. You know, I never got that. Do you ever think about that, Juice? Like just kind of like shaving like up on the side like a fade. You know how some people have like the dreads on the top and then the sides are faded. You know,
I think it's cool. I do like the variation. I like if he like here, Killmonger originally just had locks, right? That's how Killmonger in the comics was. He just had like big locks. Huh?
Nah, so, well, I was talking about here. It's just styled differently.
Yeah, just style. Like so, they wanted to give him locks, but they were like, we don't want to give him just like the long locks on his back because here in media, like fake locks are traditionally look really bad. Like I haven't seen good fake locks in a movie. Like I don't think ever. It's a thing like Hollywood doesn't seem to be able to do. So like I feel like they might have done that off of like here we're not gonna make him look crazy. We're not gonna give him the Walking Dead hairstyle of arbitrary character in Walking Dead. We're not gonna do that to this big mainstream movie. So we're gonna give him
Michonne's dreads look horrible in Walking Dead. That shit looks so hot. Like, it's like I don't want to be chased around some post-apocalyptic hot ass dreads. It's hot as shit, you know.
It's already hot. Because they're all in Atlanta. But
dirty and whatnot. Like, she ain't got shampoo, you know. Damn. But you know
like,
what?
They just want to give him something
Avatar
different, you know, something that was more like modern. I feel like.
What was it? Avatar: Way of Water that Jake had dreads. You seen that? You seen Avatar?
Yes,
right? Jake had
he did.
Those look so horrible. Those you're right. They can't do dreads in media.
Well, those are
they
also
just look bad. You know.
Hold on, those are Kanega dreads. All right, so they were like.
Well, still, they just didn't look.
They were like
they
black
just gave
folk,
him
like the kinkiness in the hair matters when it comes to dreads. So they look.
Yeah.
So they're like white dreads sometimes look a little bit looser and. Always look kind of wild.
I think he did a good job with Killmonger. I think overall his overall character design good. I was just saying that this hairstyle just wouldn't be for me personally. He should have been
the best.
I'm still with it. I don't think Shuri should have been one. I think the fans wanted Michael B. Jordan to take up the role as the king of Wakanda.
Kanaga's dead.
Yeah, but they could have wrecked that Jew. Stop it. They could have did whatever they wanted. They could have done it.
Look, you know? They gave it to us, and they brought him back in that dream.
Everybody loved it. Everybody loved
it. We did. That shit was crazy. It was great.
Motherfuckers was cheering in the movie theater when they saw that.
Dude, real talk. Everybody was hyped. But hey, remember, like, he can always come back. He came back in the comics. It was Mephisto, I think, or something. But
do some movie shit. Do some movie shit and make him come back. Nah, it's over. It's over, man.
Anyway, sorry. So back to topic though. Like, I would just say, you know,
this is
anything as long as they don't go back to the Afro.
Yeah,
we can do it.
Like, oh man, remember Mr. Popo from DBZ? That was probably the worst depiction of a black character.
He wasn't black.
Go look at Mr. Popo.
Yes,
Mr. Popo looked like one a big racist. Who drew that?
He
shit?
Was.
You know.
But wait,
this motherfucker had big lips, dark ass skin, an afro.
There were other people who were black that didn't look like that.
He wasn't black per se, right? He wasn't like black in like race per se.
He was literally black.
But that nigga was literally black. He looked like a nigga.
He
looked like a caricature, like you know.
Yeah.
Completely like a caricature. Like actual black skin. And big lips and
like white little eyes,
beady eyes. like
And he had a turban.
wearing a turban, and
hey,
like
y'all stop
he
it,
had
man.
he literally had black skin. And it's like, yo, what are y'all doing? And we all know Piccolo was a Kanega, right? We all know that that's a Kanega. We all know that the Namekians were all Kanegas, right?
We hated Mr. Popo so bad that we were like, these green people are black now.
Yeah, not the actual black guy. Yeah, not him.
Those are actually black now. Because that is intolerable.
Mr. Popo used to talk. He used to be like, "Oh no, Goku," you know what I mean? Like, it's,
Yeah, like that
oh,
was
that's
that was extreme. You know, yeah, like it's that's one thing. Even all the Namekians had like no hair, but like that's one thing. But like I don't know, like look, yeah, of course, like but like I don't know, like this is stuff that's coming up recently. Like this is DJ, right? DJ in 2024. Like that's his alternate costume, which just came out like a month ago.
Outside, that don't look fresh though. His outfit is cool. Like,
his outfit is cool. DJ is a very cool character in Street Fighter 6. But
he always got that big grin.
His original hairstyle, not his original hairstyle, but his default hairstyle in Street Fighter 6, that's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. Like the really,
I actually don't know what that is.
The really tight tight dreads that's tied back.
Oh.
That's tied back. Yo, fucking fire. Like that's a hairstyle I could almost see myself doing, but I don't think I have the head for it. But anyway, like
yeah.
They went from that cool ass hairstyle to this hairstyle that we've been seeing for the past 6 years. You know, like as his alternate, and I'm like, why? They got something really cool with DJ going on, and then like we're taking a bit of a step back here.
Maybe they need some way to kind of show that, like, you know, he is hip and he's modern, and that's where the buzz comes. I want to show that he's.
If you look at his default outfit, he looks cool as fuck. Right, real nice and simple. You know, open shirt, some nice slacks with color matching his shirt, and he's wearing sandals because DJ. You know, his stage is on a beach. But like this, like I don't know, like the outfit is cool. To me, it just doesn't seem like DJ. Right, DJ's always been kind of like really simply dressed because it's functional.
Yeah,
but then they put this hairstyle again on another character, and I'm like, and then Eddie Gordo comes later as far as announcements are concerned, and I'm like, Eddie too? And then you start looking at other characters like Miles and Echo, and you're like, okay, what's going on? Like, are the non-black developers, or who are mostly the people designing these games, starting to catch up and thinking that the Killmonger hairstyle is in now in 2024, whereas it was kind of has not been in for a while now. But you know, I don't know. I have a small issue with.
I don't know why that would be though. The developers of a lot of these games, you know, Street Fighter,
Japanese.
And, Spider-Man, it's Sony, right?
Spider-Man's American. It's an American developer. Insomniac's an American company. I feel
like there's always been great diversity in animation hairstyles, especially from Japan, right? Like, you know, like there's always been diverse hairstyles in Japanese.
Not for black people. You rarely see black people in anime. Like,
I don't know.
Like here, remember Barrett?
Right, you rarely had a fade. People,
but we can name the number of black people on like two hands.
Barrett had a high top fade.
Yeah.
But in Advent Children, he had cornrows.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
They gave him cornrows,
fade. We got the full locks. It's just something you don't really see.
Eddie Gordo had full locks in Tekken 3.
His default costume. Full locks, but that's like he's like, because he was like literally like the capoeira guy.
Yeah.
But like anybody else, like you just never really see full locks other than Eddie Gordo. I'm trying to think, like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking of like Raven and Tekken, right? Like Wesley Snipes, basically, right? But that's just
he had a
that's just
fade, didn't he?
buzz cut. Yeah, it's just a fade, just
Yeah.
a buzz cut. But yeah, like thinking about him, I'm like Balrog. And
Balrog is just
Balrog
had
is
the
just
Vegeta.
like,
What did he
yeah,
have?
he had the
Mike
Vegeta,
Tyson.
but it was a super
Yeah.
low, it was super low cut.
Yeah.
Like, who else is there really? You know, but you're
Hey,
starting to have a
really
lot
have any-
more.
Oh,
Black
you know who's got the full locks? Your boy from Guilty Gear, and this is recent. But the big dude with the sword.
Oh, Nagoriyuki, yeah, he's got full locks.
Yeah, he's got full locks, which is dope.
Yeah,
That was cool.
yeah. Nago is dope. Nago is a dope character. But first black character in Guilty Gear.
Hey, DM locks. I'm with it. Afro Samurai literally has the flowing afro.
Afro. I mean, you can't. I mean, that's different because that's like literally in his name. Like, it wouldn't work if he was called Afro Samurai and he had locks. You know, that would just be a little more racist than anything.
Still,
Afro
they weren't referring to your hair.
Afro
turning your skin
is more unique because we rarely ever see a flowy fro. You know, his fro really flowed. You know,
Yeah, that don't like it's like a cloud
swayed in the wind. Yeah.
It was like a cloud.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Afro Samurai. Those are some good ass
Storm.
movies, man. Both of them.
But Storm doesn't really like Japanese, but like
Well,
Storm,
and
Storm's got like
Storm's female, different territory. Different territory. We're talking about black male.
why Storm ain't got kinky hair?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of straight. And
Well,
white.
That don't be flowing. That don't. She cut that joke.
I don't know why.
Yeah, y'all trying to tell me Storm's hair is all natural, man? No, I don't think so, man. She
It's a
got a
weave.
perm, man.
It's not, I don't know if it's a weave. I just think again, like Storm was like I think Storm, like for some reason they probably wanted to go with the European standard of beauty and have her have
At
like
the time,
long
yeah.
straight hair and white hair, which is unique, which makes her stand out.
With her blue eyes. Yeah.
Mhm.
She's still bad though.
Oh yeah, Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Bishop.
I am going to start to know.
Bishop had a mullet. Bishop had a fucking mullet, and his hair was like curly.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even nappy. It was long curly hair that was styled like a mullet.
So there's plenty of hairstyles. You know what's crazy is that like when you build your own character, there's just like
There's
and,
like
and,
two,
you know,
there's like two
build a
hairstyles
black
for black
character.
people.
It's like if you try to put one of those other hairstyles on your black character, you're not gonna feel right. You're not gonna feel right. You gotta take it off. They can't have the Elvis. They can't do that, man.
Right, you can't have a comb over, you know?
Yeah,
It's got to be like a black
can't have
hairstyle.
that, man. Like all those
I
hairstyles.
made my character on Mass Effect, he definitely had dreads. I tried to sauce it up a little bit and put like red dreads or something, you know.
Yo, for Mass Effect, it was hard for me to design my character. Like I tried to design like my black character. It was hard for me to because there wasn't a lot of options. I ended up just going with the buzz cut, but that didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard out here, man.
Like it wasn't lined up. It was just kind of like whatever, you know. You know, like I'm just like I'm like this is a black person. There's got to be a black barber around here.
Yeah, there got to be a barber on the ship. Like
on the ship.
It was just like there's nothing. There's no lines, nothing. It was just like
there was no black barbershop though.
Yeah, you go to the Asian barbershop.
Yeah, they don't know how to do the lines. But yeah,
man,
it's something I just wanted to kind of bring to y'all's attention and see what y'all thought about it.
I'm definitely going to look for this in any media I consume
now
especially animated. I'm definitely gonna be looking for it.
now that you're recognizing it,
Yeah,
you're gonna see it a lot more. I promise you.
You're damn sure right. Miles Morales definitely had that hairstyle.
Yes, you
I'm
sure
like, you
did.
didn't have that in part one.
Hey, I do. You know what I do? I do like these bangles on them, Jones, like those the clasps and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that. I didn't need more of that. Like you throw like one or two of them Jones on there.
Mm.
So you got four. You got a bunch. Yeah, hey, I don't know. I'm just look for me. My main thing is like, as long as you got, just give us more. Just give us more. Like I don't.
There's
Just
more.
give me some more.
There's more than just this
Give me some more.
hairstyle.
Yeah, there's more. Like just
Like do a little bit more market research, right? And
don't take out the old ones and just keep adding on.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
leave the fro, leave the buzz cut, leave it all, and then just keep adding on as we go. And we'll catch up. We'll catch up.
But yeah, it's just just do a little bit more market research. Maybe go around to maybe if you think we're all Kanegas, but just try to go around to like any kind of barbershop and just look at the pictures. Look at the guide that they have, which no one ever uses when they go to the barbershop, but look at the fucking guide. And like you have like 20 something different hairstyles right there for black people. You know, you don't even got to go all the way in. Just go in the door, look to your right or to your left at the wall. There's a whole fucking chart.
It's not that hard to model these, Jones, man.
Nah. In fact, this hairstyle is probably harder to model than others than other ones that could be, options. But anyway, yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely not that hard. But there aren't a lot of black people in Japan, right? I saw this guy who did a vlog living he's either Japan or China. He was like, man, like the racism over there, it's like not everybody's racist, but like
it's overt.
They're still the type where they'll tell you you're not allowed to eat in here, bro. Like you have to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They also tend to look at you as like from this is from like almost firsthand from one of my friends who I go to conventions with, but like he was saying like there are instances where they will look at you as like a sideshow attraction because you look very different from everyone else, So like there was actually one dude I saw on a vlog also who was like making money, like people were like literally like giving him money to take pictures with him and giving him like a lot of money to take pictures with him. So he would stand in like one spot all day and like all these all these locals would come and like take pictures with him and he would charge them to take pictures with him and he made mad money doing that.
If they gonna do it, you might as well get some scratch out of it.
He leaned into it. He leaned right on into that. But yeah,
so whoa, you gotta pay for those pictures.
Yeah. No, the racism is overt in many different ways over there. So,
man, that mean.
All right, so what's next, guys? We're on 3 hours now.
Okay, it's stopped.
Yeah, 3 hours. All right, so I did want to do this Fannie Willis thing, but we are at 3 hours. I don't even know how much drive space I have left for real.
Dude, this is why we either have to have strict time limits on cast, or we just have to cast more. I think the next time we cast, Dune should be out by then, right? So we're definitely doing a Dune review.
I don't know if I'm gonna see it in theaters though. I mean, I could, I guess. But the first one was good.
I wish. I wish I would have saw the first one in the theaters.
Yeah.
I felt like it would have been a spectacle on the screen. Like that movie was just.
It was long.
Yeah, it was long.
Dune.
All right, y'all hear that? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. I don't know. All right, real fast. We're gonna cover. Hold on, I say real fast.
Ah, man, don't
We
do
talk
it.
about top.
It's
We
never.
don't talk about politics. All right. Okay, here. When y'all free for the next cast, because I do want to talk about this, Joe, man. I want to talk about Trump.
All right, we can do it the next time. First thing.
All right, first we'll jump
I'm
off
good.
of
I'm actually good next week. I'm okay for next weekend if y'all want to do it next weekend.
Works for me. Thanks.
I might be able to do Sunday. I got to go to a party on Saturday, so we'll see. We'll see if I get fucked up or not. I'm gonna try not to get fucked up. You know.
Hey, do it at the
So
party.
it looks like Claudine put a down. She said it also happens in Eastern Europe. That happened to us. Did you experience a little bit of racism out there, Juice?
Not that I was aware of, but I didn't really speak the language.
Did people treat you differently because they knew you were American?
I don't think most of them knew I was American. I just
Yeah.
do that. Like like it's pretty
You know, isn't it
multicultural. We were in
weird
like
that
Paris. Like there's a lot of different kinds of people. So and
Yeah.
I was mostly in the tourist area, so I wasn't like
isn't it
standing out that
weird
much. I
that
don't think.
the Chinese are kind of still so racist towards black people, but they're buying up all this land and property in Africa, right? So like you would imagine the cultures are gonna mingle then. So you'll have Asian mothers and black fathers,
No.
or Asian fathers and black mothers. You know, like weird. It's like why is it racist like that? You know, maybe it has
Because they come
something
from a
to do
place
with
where they
China,
never seen
and
nobody like that.
Yeah,
maybe it has
that's
something to do with that.
Like
That's a big
Asia,
part of it.
like
Asian culture being
China
cut
and
off for so
Japan are
long.
so homogenized, right? Like
Yeah.
they're all Asian. Like
It's all
we
insular.
were actually really like even Africa. Like they're all African. Like it's weird to us because we're from a
Yeah.
place where we do actually see different types
Different
of people
people.
on a regular basis.
Mhm.
That is unlike most of the places in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Somebody did tell me that about it's like Ghana, like there's no racism because everybody's black. Like you look
or they
around,
find other
everybody's
things
black.
to be racist about.
Yeah.
So, oh, your eyebrows ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
You must be less than me.
You know that American racism is stewed to a perfection. We got that shit perfected over here, man. It's cool though.
There's so many different options.
You know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Never. I was going to ask about Dave Chappelle if y'all saw that show, but we could talk about it next time because I actually didn't watch it yet. So
Later special, I did see it.
I didn't actually watch it yet. I started it. But.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, I know Juice been out on Dave Chappelle for some years now, man. He's still funny. Still funny. You know.
Is he?
I'm gonna send you one of his old clips and see if you don't laugh from the Chappelle show, man. I'm gonna send you one of them.
Count if you send me an old clip. That doesn't count.
Chappelle show.
You think that old jokes stop being funny? No, that's not the issue.
I saw the Chappelle show skit earlier this morning, which fucking had me dying.
Yeah,
it was the Player Haters Club Shark Tank.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? You remember when remember when this dude I forget his pimp name, but Donnell Rollins, he was like my wave machine will provide clean energy for my community forever. Thank you. And then fucking Charlie Murphy was like, "Oh, I thought you meant by wave machine. I thought you were talking about that hairstyle you call that atrocity you call a hairstyle." and then my man's like, "Buck Nasty, you are so dark when you touch yourself. It's like black on black crime." I was like, "Yo." That was his player hater name. That was his pimp name. That was player hater name. Like, you are so dark. When you touch yourself, it's like black on black crime. And he starts spraying his head. And I'm the Chappelle show, dog. Like Chappelle show, that's all good. It's so funny. It's classic.
Yeah, exactly. That's just fucking funny, man, to this day.
Yeah, but I know you were definitely out on Dave for a while there, man. You was not fucking with Dave.
What do you mean for a while?
So you
I haven't watched the new stand-up. But I'm sure I watched the first 15 minutes of it before Akila woke up. But yeah, I wasn't laughing.
So what? Hold on.
Like
so
15
why is
minutes.
Kanye not there? So why don't you respect Kanye for his older craft, his older works? You know, because you're out on Kanye too. You know. Hey, okay, he might be batshit crazy nowadays, but he still gave us classics. I mean, I'm just saying, like, why don't you? You don't fuck with Dave. So I feel like you're already going to be biased against Dave going into this special, where you should go into it just open.
Kanye's new shit is trash.
Let him make you laugh.
Like his old shit is good, but the new shit is trash.
I don't feel like you're going to give it a fair shake. And you know, Kanye came out with a new album recently.
Did you listen to it, D? Did you listen to his new album?
Kanye's new album?
Did you like it? Did you like it?
I heard a couple tracks on YouTube Music, but you know, albums are different now. You remember back in the day when we used to buy a CD and we used to go track to track and listen. Now it's kind of not like that. You just hear a song, oh, I like that, and then
that's how it was with what's his name's new album, Kendrick Lamar's newest album. Like, I didn't listen to it all the way through. I was like jumping from song to song, and I didn't listen.
It's hard to get a
all
beat
the way
on
like
exactly. Yeah, the rhythm of the album. Like, do I like this or do I not? You know,
that's true, man. Like, I miss buying albums. I miss having like the disc, or I miss having like, because even when I bought it digitally, I had the whole like thing. But like on YouTube, I have everything on YouTube, but I just doesn't. I don't know. I just don't listen to it all the way the same way. You know?
Yeah, you just don't.
Maybe I'm just busy.
For me, it's about ownership, like ownership versus licensed use. Like, well, I'm kind of speaking more on movies, but it does apply to music in some capacity. But it's like if you buy digitally, you don't own it, right? You just borrow the license to listen to it or watch it or use it.
You don't own the tangible piece of art that you can hold in your hand and a piece of.
No, you literally don't own that, and you literally don't own that song or album. Like like whoever, iTunes, whatever, YouTube, whatever you use, they own it. They own the rights to it, and they could pull that shit anytime, and you would have paid that money, or whatever. But like, you know, you would have paid that money, and they pull that shit, and you're SOL. You know, but if you actually like own the CD, that's yours forever.
Awesome as booklets,
right? Like flipping through the booklet. I think the funniest booklet I ever saw was Eminem Encore. Like he was like, sounds fucked up. He was shooting up the crowd. Like as you flip through the booklet, looking at the songs, he was like, it was stupid. But
man, that's taking me back to like the Marshall Mathers LP. Man, that album is still so fucking good. Man,
no, oh shit. Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, Juice, how do you feel about the YouTube Premium price hike? Do you use YouTube Premium, Frank?
Yeah, I do.
No.
Yeah, I've been on YouTube Premium for like 5 years now. So the shit was $9.99, right? Now you know everything's jumping up. Netflix, Disney, that shit went up to like $14.99 now or something. You know what I mean? They had like $5.
Why do you?
They got me by the balls, Frank, because I can't stop. I need YouTube Premium. You know?
I haven't watched a commercial in years.
I don't watch ads on YouTube.
Is that why? Is that the main reason why?
That and the music streaming. And you can
y'all know there's ways around the ads. There's free ways around the ads. You don't have to pay $15 a month to get to not have ads. There's a lot of other free ways around those, man.
I like the music streaming app too. Like YouTube's whole catalog is available on YouTube Music. You know,
it just makes it convenient on my phone. We use YouTube like daily, like all the time.
Okay. You can listen to all your podcasts and close your phone screen, and it is just convenient.
Well, I mean,
they got me. I gotta pay.
If the use for you is there, then that sounds like it's absolutely worth it.
The guy about to short curlies.
I mean, like it just depends. It honestly depends on you having a good ad blocker. Like if you use Brave as a browser, you'll never see a YouTube ad, and you get all that shit free. But what's it called? Brave? Brave, yeah. It's another browser,
check that out.
That you can use. But yeah, like there's like Spotify. You can do everything with Spotify too that you guys are talking about. You know.
See, I thought YouTube kind of separated itself because Spotify tended to repeat songs a lot, and I didn't like that. You know, because me working at night, I listen to a lot of Spotify.
Music. I just don't use it.
Once I discovered YouTube Premium, I was just like, that's it. Everything that's on YouTube, it's just so convenient.
Well, if it's worth it,
it is worth it. That's why I said they got me by the balls because they already have my money. They told me they were charging me more, and I said, okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna charge you more, Kanega. Yes, sir.
Yes, Kanega. I'm taking more of your money, Kanega. I said, yes, sir. Say yes, I'm like driving Miss Daisy. And yes, sir. But, if you use it like that frequently, more power to you. You know, if the use is there for sure, go for it. I was like, I also I'm on YouTube fairly frequently, but I've never seen an ad for forever just because I use Brave.
Oh, okay.
Or you can get like ad block. What's the fuck it's called? Like ad block.
You don't have to wait. It just doesn't play the ads. You just go straight to the video. That's wild. I thought the ads were like ingrained in like the YouTube.
Yeah, because it seems like a separate cut, right? It doesn't seem like just a commercial. It seems like a whole separate thing that you have to.
Yeah, they throw goddamn ads in the middle of the videos.
I haven't seen an ad in years.
I haven't seen an ad since YouTube. I remember I downloaded the free trial. You know, they let you use it free for 7 days. I said, man, this is too awesome. And
I did too, actually.
I gotta pay for it. Shit.
I did too, actually. To
try because the first ad pop up, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Ew.
I used to use the YouTube Premium free trial just to see what it was like. I actually never really used it for anything. It wasn't anything special for me because I was already using Brave.
Yeah.
So
okay.
You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out Brave. Like
I watch YouTube like it's TV. I mean, everything's on it. My son, that's all he watches YouTube. So it just fit. So
yeah, that sounds like it's worth it. So go. That's by all means. You know.
Yeah, fellas, man. Look, you know, in these extra 10 minutes we've been just chit chatting, we could have touched Trump. You know.
I don't know. I don't think it would have taken just 10 minutes.
Juice is amped up off that coffee. He had a cup of Java. Before.
Yeah, I did. Yep. It's low too.
You gotta inject that shit in your veins, man. I'm not right. If I don't have at least one cup in the morning, I'm just not right. I'm like, my head's not in the right spot, you know. It's probably bad.
So he said there is not much intermarriage in Africa, Chinese and African, or between Chinese and African. I believe that.
What about interbreeding? What about interbreeding? Is that a thing?
Like, that's a weird way to put it.
Right, like because I heard something that a lot of African governments won't allow outsiders to own land. Like if you're not of African descent, if China comes in,
it is valuable
African women, and then their kids are natural citizens, then their kids can own the land. You know, I don't know how true that is. I don't know, but
I don't know. I know it'll be a good idea. I feel like because the precedent so far has been it's been a bad precedent so far as dealing with land and people in Africa. Like South Africa is.
I gotta get to Africa, bro. I gotta get to Ghana. I gotta get over there.
Me too. I need to visit.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
Gonna wrap this up, man.
Yep. I say so. Shout out to Claudine. I see your comments. Thank you. Long live David. What is it, man?
Did you say long live, right?
Long live. Like,
I thought you said long something else. Like what? Say long.
Damn.
Long time, David, you know what I'm saying?
Long live David from Prometheus. But yeah.
I still don't get. We could do a whole other podcast on it. I still don't get his motivations. Why the fuck was he so evil? You know, what was he trying to figure out?
Trying to be God, man.
Claudine's comment. She said David couldn't understand how a human, an imperfect being, created him, a better being.
So why was he just doing evil shit? Why did he drop that thing in that guy's cup and Prometheus?
Just because.
Evil is subjective. Remember,
just because.
Can he?
Like he wanted to see what would happen. It wasn't for the sake of being evil. It was just because he wanted to see what would happen.
I didn't know he was curious to the point where he wanted to just see what was going. Let me see what's going to happen with it. Because you're right, he did do that. And we saw him drop it in there and just step back and watch. But it's like, why? Why did you do that? You know,
just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
That was.
Literally,
Yeah,
just
even in the second movie, even in Covenant, you didn't quite understand his motivations. You know, what were you trying to accomplish, David? I don't know. Whatever.
Well,
y'all gonna make me go over here and go watch the movie. Going to watch.
Well, there was also the aspect of Walter, and like Walter and David. That was a whole thing. So that kind of created a foil for David in that respect.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch Covenant again. I remember being disappointed.
Him being under I only
think I saw it once or twice.
Wayland.
Yeah,
Wayland
Yutani. And when you look at the first Alien movie, Wayland Yutani is all over that shit. And I'm like, how did I not know that? I think Frank's right. So that's how people knew it was going to be an Alien movie. You know?
Yeah, because there was a lot of like similar names, Wayland Yutani Corporation.
But it just never dawned on me. Until I saw that Alien, I was just like, what? It's an alien? Just never put two and two together. So, all right, boys. Well, yeah, man, it's a good cast, man.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, good cast, man. Yeah, no doubt, man.
That'll be good. Take it easy. Hopefully,
hey, Frank, you get some sleep, Frank. Juice is gonna be awake because he had that cup of coffee, man. So you're gonna be up, man.
Okay,
dude. Hey, I can literally fall asleep off. It's not a thing for me.
I feel you. I can't too. It depends on how strong I make it.
My coffee receptors. Anyway, all right, guys. Peace, y'all. You know, stay black. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a Kanigga.
Happy Black History Month.
Stay black, man. Y'all stay black.
Kaniggas.
Yeah, man.
It'd be good.
Dude.
All right, peace.